I see the topic discussion. It's just a day in the life. Another day in the life. Just a day in the life. Just a day in the life. I want to write some shit to the boy. I want to hook right there. Sin. You know what I mean? Gang. Our title is The Oahspe Bible is Better for Our People than the King James Bible, and here's why. It's plain to see for those who understand. You know what I mean? But you still got those that are blinded by false gods, right? So we're going to shake the foundation of these false gods. Shake the foundation, loosen the chains, free the people. Shake the foundation, loosen the chains, free the people. I mean, we got a lot of our brothers and sisters still caught up in this false God doctrine. You know what I mean? They think just because it's in the Bible, it's right and exact. Nah. We don't even have that approach with the Oahspe. We don't even look at the Oahspe as this being right and exact, the only book. We don't take that approach. But a lot of you take that approach with Bible. Now, how can the Bible be better for our people, right? When it gives us a false narrative of creation. That's the first and foremost. We can't go no further in the Bible until we address the beginning of the Bible. So how can the Bible be better for our people when the cosmological story, the creation story of the Bible, is a false narrative right off the back? The 7-day creation story is a false narrative. So how can a false narrative be better for our people? The Oahspe's narrative on creation is objective. Objective meaning we could observe it in nature, we could observe it in the cosmos, and we can do scientific experiment to prove it. That's the difference between the Oahspe creation story and the biblical creation story. One is objective, another is subjective. You have to accept it and believe it without questioning it. While the Oahspe's perspective is to question it, examine it, do an experiment to prove it. See that? So the Oahspe is better for our people when it comes to understanding cosmological order because it's objective. It's universal. Anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. So they want you to believe this right here. Let's get into school. See that? How can the Bible be better for our people if God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days or 6,000 years? Either or, it don't really matter. Although the Bible says 6 days, it didn't say 6,000 years, but it says 6 days, right? The time of creation. Now, we pulled this up previous times, but in the purple it states the starting point of the Hebrew chronology is the year 3761 BC, before Common Era, the date for the creation of the world as described in the Old Testament. So here, it is an established and confirmed date that they have for the creation of the world, and that is 3761 BC. How can this false narrative be better for our people? If we had to cross-compare 3761 with the Oahspe's time for the creation of man, you're going to see that the Oahspe's time period would make way more sense because it's not confined to a 6,000-year time period. Pull this up real quick. Throw that out there. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so now we got a starting point, 3761 BC. That's the starting point, right? Here's another link. According to the Hebrew time reckoning, we are currently in the 6th millennium. The Hebrew year count starts in the year 3761 before Common Era. See that? Again, this is the date that they applied to the creation of the world. Now, a lot of brews will try to dismiss this because they know that they look foolish trying to stand on that. And those who do stand on that, we pity them. We pity them. And this date was granted by Moses Maimonides in the 12th century Common Era, 3761 BC, right? So that's a time when God said, let us create and all that. Now, a group of 3 Jewish leaders, the Calendar Council created the now fixed calendar around 350 CE Common Era, or 4110 in the Jewish system, to determine the year of the Jewish calendar, and 3760 to the year of the Gregorian calendar if before 1 Tishra, add 3761 if after 1 Tishra. The current year is 5782. So now you have the Calendar Council. You know, they did their thing, did their math or whatever, boom, bam, boom, and they came up with the year 3761. Which is currently today 5785. So this was a couple years ago when they did this, right? So if God created the heavens and the earth in 6 literal days, it would have been in the year 3761 BCE. Now, the year 3761 BC, first week of creation, spring month, right? 3761 BC. How can the Bible be better for our people who are great mathematicians, who done built the pyramids, built all type of architecture throughout this world? How can we be reduced to 3761? How can that be better for our people? Let's go to the Oahspe real quick. Let's go over here. We're gonna jump around a little bit. When if I jump around something, you know. Let me scroll down. Now, in the Oahspe, it talks about, when it talks about creation, it talks about the celestial planet going through 4 ages, right? 4 ages: the time of creation, the time of inhabitation, the time of barrenness, and the time of dissipation. These 4 ages are cross comparison to the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Like again, Oahspe is objective. It's objective, right? So we're talking about creation. The biblical creation is said to be took place in 6 days, starting in the year 3761 BC, right? 6,000 years, more or less, is the creation and the beginning of the Bible. Now, the 4 ages of creation that the Oahspe references in comparison to the 4 seasons is 144,000 years of age. So for the time for the creation from a vortex to the ball of fire to the rain down of Simu for to prepare for an habitable age is 144,000 years. The inhabitable age from the creation of man to the inhabitation of man to the extinction of man is 144,000 years. So now let's use that as the narrative. 144,000 years right here. So in the Oahspe, it says that man inhabits the planet for 144,000 years. Now, this is way better than our people to understand than to believe in a 6-day creation myth starting in 3761 BC. The creation myth don't even go back 10,000 years. You're still in the single digits. Right? We're going to compare and contrast. So Oahspe states that the first age is 144,000 years, that the second age is 144,000 years. The third and the fourth, and likewise, right? So man inhabits the earth 144,000 years. That beats 3761 or 6,000 years ago. That's a big difference. Big difference. Then it goes into the creation of the serpent. Let me scroll down. Let me get to man. So you got this shit gridded out. Y'all don't even know about the first and second creation. Oahspe talks about the first creation, the time of the serpents, jellyfish. Then comes the fall of Simu, nebula. Then the creation of legged animals, land animals. So the first creation was water-based animals. There was no land animals during the first creation. That's why the serpent, jellyfish was most dominant in the first creation. Niggas don't even know about the first creation. So we way above people's pay grade when it comes to Oahspe. They got to play catch up. And keep in mind, this is the first age, the time of creation. So during the time of creation, this was taking place. Right? Now watch. Oahspe speaks of the condition of man. This is the growth of man. Man comes into the world like a baby crawling on his belly, hands and feet, hands and knees. But this is the race of man. So as you see this child grows, that is the nature of the race of man, period. The species, from being primitive to upright and being godly-like. So now, check this. This is the time of creation, right? Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy, chapter 5, verse 17, placed the Simuan age at 99 degrees Fahrenheit scale, the time of quickening animal life. So in the first age, in the last Gadol degree, in the sixth Gadol degree, when the vortexian temperature was 99, that's the time of quickening animal life. That means that the planet was suitable enough to sustain animal life. Your body has to maintain a body temperature, right? It's levels to this joint, right? So now, right here, it's the creation of man. In the Oahspe, the creation of man took place 78,000 years ago. Let's just put a cap at 80,000 years ago. Let's just round it off. So 80,000 years ago compared to not even 6,000 years ago, because you remember the date for the Hebrew calendar is 5785 today. That's where it stands today, 5785. That's not even 6,000 years ago that God created the heavens and the earth. But in the Oahspe, man goes back to 80,000 years for his creation. Right? Let's see here. Scroll down. Right here. Now look. This is the first age, the time of creation, 144,000 years. This is the second age, the inhabitable age, which is 144,000 years. So now we're moving on to the second age, the beginning of the second age, because this is the time of creation for man right here, right? It says, place the Simuan age at 99 degrees, the time of quickening animal life. Bam, right here, 99. Animals are created within the first Gadol in the second age, right? Now, 98 degrees is when man come into play. To find the Simuan age of man, place his temperature at 98 for optimum health. So man was created in the second Gadol degree within the second age, the inhabitable age. Nigga, we talking French to some of these niggas right now. Niggas ain't even, niggas have no clue of what we talking about right now. while those who study the Oahspe understands clearly what I'm saying. And then it states right here, when the Gadol degree, the vortexian temperatures get down to 94, it states 4 below normal will therefore be the end of the period of man's inhabitation on earth. So from the creation of man to the extinction, all plays in this one garden right here, the inhabitable age. So from 98 to 94 is the inhabitable age. So this shit is mapped out scientifically. It ain't no wishful thinking when man will become extinct. It ain't no nuclear warfare that's going to destroy the earth and make man extinct. No. This shit is a cycle that naturally occurs year in, year out. This ain't nothing new. There's going to come a time when man will become extinct to the planet. So again, we have the first age, the time of creation, and we got the second age, the inhabitable age. And man came on the planet during the second Gadol in 98. Animals was created in the 99th. Jellyfish and sea serpents was created previous to land animals. So now when we skip back to Bible, now we just went through some depths with that, going into hundreds of thousands of years, breaking it down into subcycles of 72 and 24 Gadol periods. We breaking the knowledge down, dealing with this time scale. But when we do the same thing with that with Bible, being that the starting point of Bible is 3761 BC, we have discrepancies here. So how can this discrepancy be better when it doesn't line up at all? Right? Now watch. Here's a map. Here's the years of Adam and his descendants, right? Quick, fast. The time of creation is 3761 BC. That means Adam would have been created in that year as well. So Adam, he lived to be like 930 years. So Adam would have lived during the time of these Egyptian pharaohs. Let me scroll down and get another picture of it. Matter of fact, now let me come back up right here. So look, this is the early dynasty in the Old Kingdom of Egypt and the Middle Kingdom, right? 3750 is the time of Narmer. So Adam, the first man created, would have been living during the time of Narmer. Lamech would have been living during the time of Narmer. Enoch would have been living during the time of Narmer. Enoch would have seen the pyramid. All these niggas, all the descendants of Adam would have damn near seen the pyramids built. So how can the Bible be better for our people when we put a date on it? The creation, when God created the heavens and the earth, is 3761 BC. That's the Nakata period of ancient Egypt. That's mathematically in error. At least the Oahspe is bringing us to a time period of 144,000 years for the whole inhabitation of man. So from the creation of man to the extinction of man is 144,000 years. And we at the halfway mark of the inhabitable age, the 72,000. So 72, let's just put the 72,000 on it because we right here. 72,000 years ago, look at that. What niggas was doing 72,000 years ago? You don't know. As far as history, as far as man being civilized and out here building pyramids and buildings and structures, niggas wasn't doing that 72,000 years ago, let alone 80,000 years ago. Niggas was still in a primitive state. If you look at the genome and the haplogroups and all that. The only difference with our numbering system compared to with the numbering system when they try to tell you that man goes back 7 million years ago is that we'll challenge that because to us, the data, skeletons don't live that long. Skeletons disintegrate within a couple hundred years. So how can, for example, the doc I did with primitive man. So how can primitive man, right here, these are 3 classifications of the races on the planet, period. There's 3, the Anthropus, the Pithecus, and the Homo. Sound crazy, right? But these are your three classifications. All human species come from one of these three, right? And the oldest is the Anthropus, which is Greek for human. And they date the Anthropus to 7 million down to 2.1 million years old, right? So now, the Oahspe states that man goes back a merely 80,000 years old from where we at right now, to the time period where we at, 78,000 years ago. Rough, we just rounded off to 80. But the thing is this, there are seasons when men are created, inhabited. So this is not the first time right here that man was created. Let me pull that out. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Showing you man been on the planet longer than 80,000 years, but it's just in pockets, cycles. You know what I mean? So for example, this is the orbit of the solar system. You got the first garden, second, third, and so forth, 8, and then it repeats. Within one garden, you have the 4 ages that I just showed you, the time of creation, the time of inhabitation. That's what these 4 blocks are in each garden. There's 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it starts over. So each garden is an inhabitable age for man, from his creation to his inhabitation to his extinction, right? Now, when the Oahspe states what? That's the whole breakdown of the timetables of prophecy. So now look, Book of Jehovah, chapter 7, verse 2. And Jehovah caused the earth and the family of the sun to travel in an orbit, the circuit of which requires of them 4,700,000 years. So already, look at the number. Look at the scale of number, the vast amount of years Oahspe is dealing with. We're not dealing with a mere 6,000 years old right here. Scroll down right here. Let's put the dates below it right here. So the time of creation of light and darkness, when God said, let us create light and darkness, was the year 3761. But Oahspe just showed you right here that one orbit of the solar system, meaning one rotation, is 4,700,000 years. That's just one rotation. Compared to 365 days when the earth goes around the sun. That's just one rotation, right? So now, those the breakdown just come down. Now look, arc cycles, subcycles. So now right here, in that orbit, right? Because remember, it says one orbit of the solar system is 4,700,000 years. Oahspe tells you which where we're at in this orbit. We're in the 7th sum, the 7th magnitude, the 7th garden, right? So we went through 1, we went through 2, we went through 3, we went through 4, we went through 5, we went through 6. Now we're in the 7th. This is where we at right now. We're in the inhabitable age of the 7th sum. So man has been created, inhabited, and went extinct on the planet 6 times from the beginning of the first orbit right here. Right? We're in the 7th sum. Now keep in mind, each sum is 576,000 years. So these two alone, we over 1 million over here. You see that? But over here, shit, and it keeps going. The mathematics get higher. The numbers become more magnified. So we dealing with this mathematical equation while they dealing with this mathematical equation from 3761 BC dealing with the Bible. They're not dealing on these high mathematical levels. This is play. This is sippy cup brew knowledge right here, dealing with the creation story. This play, this preschool. God created the heavens and the earth, and they can say it was 1,000 years. So from 3761 BC to 2761 BC, that's when God created the heavens and created light and darkness, I should say. We got a time stamp on it now because we got a date. And the Oahspe says we the 7th sum. Here's the proof of that right here. Book of 8th, son of Jehovah, chapter 3, verse 3. And I examined the records of the stars of heaven and of the earth and the accounts of Jehovah's harvest. And I perceived the bondage of the labor of the red star were in what? The 7th magnitude in the advance of inhabitable worlds. This is the 7th magnitude, the 7th sum in the advance of the inhabitable worlds, meaning from the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Now we're in the 7th. advance of the inhabitable worlds, right? So now, we're in the seventh garden. Seventh magnitude equals seventh garden. We're in the second age of that garden. So now look at this. Book of Sethanti, son of Jehovah, chapter 2, verse 29. And the records of the great serpent, meaning the solar system, show the firmament of Tiamat in the third circuit of the sea vorkum, the chief vortex of and Dana 24. Now it says it's in its third circuit. So one circuit, we already said that one orbit is 4,700,000 years. Oahspe said we're in the third of that. So the first circuit is 4,700,000. The second circuit is 9,400,000. We're in the third circuit within the seventh garden. See the mathematics we playing with? We're playing with a scale of millions of years. Now keep in mind, in each one of these circuits, man is created and inhabited 8 times. So you got when we look back and do the knowledge and the numbers, it's like, yo, we in the millions. This goes, man is created right here, according to the dates of carbon dating or whatever, however, potassium dating. They go back 7 million years, right? So now, look at this. We completed 6 gardens already. So that's 3 million, right? 456,000 years. Let me just come down. The age of man on earth is 13,072,000. Just dealing with simple math. And that's dealing with going back. We in the third circuit. So we right here. So when we do the math, man has been on the planet 13 million plus years, but not consecutively straight, created, inhabited, and then went extinct. And then that time got to roll back around where he's created, inhabited, then extinct. So Oahspe showing you like, look, man been on the planet way longer than what they even got dated right here. They got him dated at 7 million years. So if we put that on the time scale, that'll place him within this garden right here. The Anthropus would have came within the second circuit if we put that on the time scale. You know what I mean? So we can go back to these millions of years old once we place it in the correct garden. Because each garden, each orbit, each circuit, I should say, is 4,700,000 years. So if man is 7 million years old, he would have been created within this circuit right here. More likely the third or the fourth. And then you get the Anthropus, the Pithecus, all that coming within the second circuit. Then when you get to the third circuit, seventh garden, here come. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to know what you're dealing with when studying the Oahspe, because it's giving you numbers to play with. It's making you go get a pencil and paper and write down some math. So with that, we're playing with large-scale magnitudes of numbers showing you the creation and habitation and extinction of man. When we come back to Bible, how can this be better when you're only going back to 3761 BC, and then you don't have a cycle prior to that to say, like, all right, well, this is just this time period. Prior to 3761 BC, this was going on. You ain't even got that like what we got. We can show that. We just in one orbit, one garden right now. We right here. But then Oahspe shows that man was created and inhabited prior to that. So we get a third circuit of the sea vorkum or the vortex, and then our 24. So Oahspe gives you mathematical equations to play with, right? So while we dealing with the Bible, now keep in mind the creation of the firmament is the second day. So if we put that on the timeline, that's 3761 to 1761 BC. That ain't making no sense. Now let's put the historicity to it to show you how foolish it's gonna look. Where that? Right here. So now look, the creation of light and darkness during that time on the earth plane, it was the Nakata culture, early dynastic period of Egypt. When God created the firmament on the second day, the old kingdom, the middle kingdom of Egypt was thriving. When God created dry land and grass and herbs and fruit trees on the third day from 1761 BC to 761 BC, the new kingdom was thriving. The intermediate of Egypt, the Greek Dark Ages came. That's the Mycenaean culture popping off, and the Minoan culture popping off. The Etruscans around. All that's going on at a historical level, but this is supposed to be the third day when God creates dry land. Come on, man. How can this be better for people when we just gave you at least a greater magnitude, which would be more realistic, dealing with the magnitude of millions of years if you're going to play that game, if you're going to put this thing on the timeline. So the Oahspe man was created roughly 80,000 years ago within this garden. That doesn't mean this is the creation of man from his conception. No, man is just like the fruit trees. There's going to be some fruits that's going to blossom this year that's not the fruits of last year. The apples that's going to be produced new this year, when spring come around, them apples is going to be produced off the tree. Right? Them fruits wasn't there before. They was created. They boom, here they go. Oh shit, they just boom. That's like creation. That's like man being created. Boom, the apple trees the trees produce a fruit. Boom, there go the apple. But that apple is not the apple from last year. And the apple from last year is not the apple from the previous year. That's how it is with the races of man. Man is created, inhabited, and then goes extinct. And then when the earth is ripe again, he's created, inhabited, then goes extinct. See, the Oahspe explains the cycles, the seasons and cycles of the creation of mortals and animal life. The Bible doesn't do that. The Bible got you believing that God created the heavens and the earth 6,000 years ago, or 5,785 years ago, to be on the exact. So now, how can the Bible, dealing with creation, be better when the time scale is off? See, look at that. Remember, God created man on the sixth day. So if we go from 3761 as the creation of the first day, and we go 6 days dealing with a 6,000 year period, from the first day to the sixth day is 1239 AD, Common Era. So the year 1239, Common Era, is when God would have been creating the heavens and the earth, right? For 6,000 years within the sixth day. So from 1239 Common Era to 2239 in the future Common Era, God would have been created. So we in the midst of the sixth day right now. God's supposed to be creating right now as we speak. Because keep in mind, the first day of creation is 3761 BC. You bring that down 6,000 years, you're going to come to 1239 Common Era, the sixth day. So this is fugazi. This is trash. You cannot accept this as a reality of creation when the time is off, right? The time is off. See that? God created on the fourth day, God created the sun, moon, and stars. That would have been from 761 to 239 AD. Niggas, God, the sun, moon, and stars would have been created during the time of Yeshua. The fourth day is the time of Yeshua. If you put it on a time scale, see, when we put it on a time scale, that cancels everything. And we didn't make up the time scale. The Jewish Calendar Council made the time scale. Moses Maimonides gave you the time scale. 12th century Common Era, 350. The Jewish the Calendar Council created these things. They gave you that. This is your God giving you this. See that? So again, you see the foolishness of the creation story. There's no possible way that could be beneficial to our people. And that's just dealing with math. And that's just dealing with creation. You know what I mean? So now, how can the Bible be good when you have God himself involving himself with evil activities, right? In the book of Wars Against Jehovah, chapter 53, verse 1, it states, Jehovah had said, I created man blank as to good and evil, and gave him liberty. And I give liberty also to the spirits of the dead. But these spirits set themselves up as gods, Elohim, and to glorify themselves use mortals, humans, in their own way. For they found that humans, mortals, could be turned to good or evil, to war or to peace, to virtue or to lust, according to the what? Inspiration of who? Angels watching over them. So we know who is who over here. When we know you niggas is off, we know it's you inspired by your angel watching over you that's inspiring you to error. So when you say that your Most High sits on the throne, we know that you inspired by an angel that's watching you, that's in error, turning you for the worse, turning you for evil, turning you to war. Because that's what you Israelites preach, war and evil, right? War and destruction. The God of war is God an angel. Now, Jehovah said, he who is chief of a government on earth shall be king, but he who is chief of my heavenly government shall be called God. So in the Oahspe, it is clear that God is not the Most High Creator. That's beneficial to know, because with that understanding, you won't get caught in a snare in worshiping a man, because an angel is a man. God is a man with just that title. Now look, Book of Discipline, 117, as a kingdom on earth has a king, and the king is nevertheless immortal, so in like manner is the heavenly place of your God, a kingdom of angels, and the chief over them is God, an angel also. This is beneficial to know, because you've been taught that God is the Most High sitting on a throne. The Oahspe is letting you know these are congregated angels, and the chief over them is titled God, an angel also. So we're in declare not to worship angels or gods, because these are not the Most High, just ranking angels, no different than the kingdom on earth. That's why it gives you the parallel of that, so you won't be confused. That is beneficial. But you've been taught in Bible in error to believe that this God is the Most High. How can that be beneficial? Precept. Exodus chapter 31:18. And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, table of stone, written with the finger of God. Now we just broke down what a God is. You've been taught that the God who spoke to Moses in Mount Sinai is the Most High Creator. You are in error. You are in darkness, because you lack understanding of the heavenly kingdom. That God is just commissioned to go to Moses to give him the message for mortals to live right, but he is not the Most High Creator. That's where you are in error, Israel. Definition of God in the blue letter, well, we know what that is. But here, precept to that, Acts 7:38. This is he that is in the church in the wilderness with the angel which spoke to him in Mount Sinai, and with our fathers who received the lively oracles to give unto us. So here, the only person who spoke to Moses in Mount Sinai was God. And here it's telling you he's an angel. Verse 53, who have received the law by the disposition of angels and have not kept them. So again, it's telling you that angels are gods, and God is an angel, and the angel is a God. And here's the proof. And the Lord, Exodus 19:11, and be ready against the third day. For the third day, the Lord, that's Yahweh in all capital, will come down in the sight of all people upon Mount Sinai. So there you have it. God, Lord, is an angel. The only person who came down to Mount Sinai is Lord God. Right? Scroll around. Got a little bit of Job. So right here, right? First book of God, chapter 10, verse 11. As God is captain of heaven and earth to all righteous souls, so is there a Satan who is captain over evil spirits. So we're making a distinction, and the distinction is in the actions and behavior. God's book of Esdras, chapter 4, verse 5 through 7. In which sermon all resurrection is of God, which is Jehovah's Son, but to distinguish from that which is of God, I named all who do not desire resurrection in heaven, but love the earth more, Satan. And whosoever loved evil and practiced it, I named Satan. And whosoever combines as angels or as mortals to make anarchy, I named evil workers for hell. So right there with that verse, we see that in the Bible, in 15, Samuel 15, what is it, Samuel 3:15? Or Samuel 15:3? We know that. God tells the Israelites to go kill off the infants and the babies, to utterly destroy everything. What did the Oahspe just say? Right here. And whoever combined as angels or as mortals to make anarchy, I named evil workers of hell. So when the Israelites went to go attack, kill off the Canaanites, these niggas is evil workers for hell. That's beneficial to know, because you know to fall back. You know that this is the act of Satan. Your God in the Bible told you to go to war. He is a God of war. He's turning you into an evil worker for hell. These niggas are running around here evil workers. That's y'all niggas' new names. All y'all niggas who deal with death and destruction, thinking the Most High behind that, right? Your Most High is commanding you to do that? Y'all niggas is evil workers, man. Evil workers for hell. That's y'all new name right there. Precept. Chronicles 21:1. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number him. Now we just read in the Oahspe what a Satan is. He just gave you what Satan is. Look. I named all who did not desire resurrection in heaven, but loved the earth more, Satan. And whoever loves evil and practices it, I named Satan. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. You got Satan playing with goddamn David, provoking David. Ain't David supposed to be the prince of the new goddamn Jerusalem? When he over here getting provoked by Satan? See that? And not only that, 2 Samuel 24:1 is the same thing, but it's the Lord. And it says, and again, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, go number Israel and Judah. So in one verse, you have Satan provoking David to number Israel. And then in another verse, the anger of the Lord. This nigga mad. We already exposed that these niggas is angels. So you have a mad angel that's provoking David to number Israel, who they think is the Most High. How can that be better for our people when you niggas can't make the distinction? You can't distinguish who the God is. You can't distinguish the creator from the God. You niggas is lost. 1 Samuel 16, verse 14. But the Spirit of the Lord, Yahweh, Yahuwah, departed from Saul, and in what? Evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. An evil spirit from the Lord. And Saul's servant said unto him, behold, now an evil spirit from God troubleth me. Let our Lord now command thy servant which are before thee to seek out a man who is cunning in playing on a harp. And it shall come to pass when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. This nigga's getting healed by an evil spirit from God. Okay. And it came to pass when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul, that God took an harp and played with his hand, so Saul was refreshed. So Saul was refreshed by this evil spirit from God. Now we just read up here, clearly distinguishing God from evil. So Jehovah, Oahspe, the God, the true God of the Bible, the Oahspe would never send out evil spirits because he's making a distinction right here. So he says, look, in which all sermons and all resurrection is of God, which is of Jehovah's Son. But to distinguish, there you go right there. So you can't sit there and say evil spirits come from God when right here in the Oahspe is making a distinction. So if you know that God sent the evil spirit, you know it ain't from true God. All resurrection is of God, which is Jehovah's Son. But to distinguish from that which is of God, I named all who did not desire resurrection in heaven, but loved the earth more, Satan. He's making his distinction. And whoever loved evil and practiced it, they're practicing evil by God sending out an evil spirit. Once the evil spirit sit on David, he's going to play the harp and he's going to be refreshed. These niggas practicing with evil spirits. And whoever loved evil and practiced it, I named Satan. So right here, what they doing? They practicing evil right here. But the spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. An evil spirit from God troubled him. An evil spirit from God troubled him. So we know this ain't coming from the Most High. We damn sure know that. And we know this ain't coming from true God. These are false gods practicing evil. Book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 6. As God and heaven are for the resurrection, so are Satan and hell and the devil for the declension. All men on earth and all the spirits of the dead belong to one or the other, resurrection or declension. See that? That's beneficial to know. Oahspe is giving you beneficial things to know so you know what to look out for. Now we're focused on the characteristics of the God. Now we're questioning the God because here it's making a distinction that all righteousness is of the Creator and true God, Son of Jehovah. But all declension, practice of evil is coming from the false gods and Satan being the cat. Satan being the captain. See? All resurrection is of God. Book of Judgment, chapter 3, verse 24. Nor have I provided resurrection in this world or in my heavens above, except by good works done to others. And this is the service Jehovah. And this is the service of Jehovah, the all-person. And not because of any worship or confession done by any of the idols of the earth or in heaven. So resurrection is done by good works done unto others. You can't tell me you're doing good works done unto others if you're practicing evil. You can't mix the two. You can't mix oil and water. It's either you over there or you over here. That's it. But wherever good works have resulted in affiliation and in lifting the people up out of misery and crime, the same is adjudged as worshiper of the great spirit Jehovah. See that? Lifting the people up out of misery and crime. How can we be lifting the people out of misery and crime if your God is sending misery and crime to the people by death and destruction, being the God of war? How can that be beneficial to our people, being a God of war, when the Oahspe is saying, lift up and clean up and help the people that are in misery and crime? Do good works. This is the service of the Creator. This is the worship of Creator. Hands and feet, nigga. Get your hands and feet dirty. Go out there and do something good for somebody. And you can do the exact same works, doing good works, under the pretense of your false God. Muslims do good works to their Allah. The Buddhists do good works for Buddha. See that? But you're doing good works for a false God. We could even get a little deeper and show that. Book of Ezra, chapter 30, verse 17. Consider then what you do that will rise you in spirit, for this is resurrection. First, to purify yourself. Oh, them niggas over there trying to tell people that don't eat meat, or ain't nothing wrong with eating meat. The Bible says we got clean and unclean meat. You know, we could eat that. We can eat the clean meat. Oahspe say, purify yourself. Cut out the flesh. Cut out the dead animals. Research, nigga. Research what food, vegetables, and herbs are good for you. See, niggas don't research when they become vegetarians or fruitarians or become plant-based. You got to research the food. You know what I mean? This works. Second, to do all the good you can. And third, to affiliate. Without these, there can be no resurrection. Book of Jehovah 1643. For this lies the key of all resurrection, which is to labor for others. See that? To induce them to assimilate to Jehovah and with one another. Nigga, what you think Creator Gang been doing? You hear what he said right here? He says, look, for in this lies the key of all resurrection. Nigga, you need to take notes. You need to take notes, which is to what? Labor for others. See that? You remember when Jesus was goddamn, the lady was oiling Jesus' feet and they tried to stop her? He was like, nah, nigga, she's serving. That's the ways of the Creator. Help your brother, help your sister. Each one teach one. Book of Judgment, chapter 13:46. By purifying your flesh, by purifying your thoughts, and by the practice of good works done to others with all your wisdom and strength, love and strength. For through these only is there any resurrection for you, either in this world or the next. See that? So Oahspe's practical. You've been taught you got to what? Cut off goat heads. Look, to serve others, Book of Judgment, chapter 6, verse 9. To serve others is to do good to others, to help them, to teach them, to give them joy and comfort. This is the service of Jehovah. It's a big difference. That's beneficial to know, because if you know this, you know that we're not dealing with warfare. We're not engaging in warfare. If you're doing righteous works to the Creator, he's gonna guard you against warfare. You're worrying about what's going on in the world, thinking you got to go to war. But if you follow the Creator, he's going to guard you from warfare. He's going to make sure you don't get touched in the midst of warfare. Huh? Could be a war going on and you don't get touched. I'm sure there's plenty of stories like that over there in the East, in them high warlike countries, where certain families are being protected in the midst of warfare. Services of the Creators over there getting done. Now, all decliners of Satan, the God of war, Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. So right off the back, your God is dealing with a lower vibration. We just went through and distinguished in the Oahspe from true God to what a Satan is and the evil spirit and the evil workers are. So your God falls in those confinements, man. Your God is not the most high, but the most low. Literally. We're not playing when we say that. Isaiah 42:13. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. See that? He shall cry, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. This is supposed to be the man who creates sun, moon, and stars, reducing to a man going to war, reducing to jealousy a man's trait, engaging in mortal conflict. And you're supposed to be a spirit. How can that be beneficial to our people? You got our people confined, confused with this. They think it's okay to go to war. They think it's okay to, my God, they think it's okay. That's where they lost that. Look at this. Look at this right above. Below, Book of Judgment, chapter 32, verse 12. Look what it states. Judgment is rendered against all nations and people in the world who engage in war, thus bringing these afflictions upon the angels of heaven. Your God is a God of war and destruction, not knowing you're bringing afflictions to the angels of heaven. Did your God tell y'all that? That when you go to war and you kill people, when you kill people and they cross over in a chaotic state, that brings affliction upon the angels of heaven? Did your Bible tell you that? This is why the Oahspe is beneficial, because the Oahspe is telling us not to engage in warfare. Not just on the physical side, but on the spiritual side as well, because it says these spirits, these people that are getting killed in warfare, their spirits are being born in chaos. They're crossing over in chaos, bringing affliction upon the angels that got to assist them. Niggas don't even know this shit go that deep. These niggas think it's play. These Hebrew Israelites think the Bible is play. They think this shit is a joke. They don't understand the spiritual side. They don't understand the spiritual conditions of those engaging in warfare. They think it's okay to go to war. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. What is the Lord doing going forth, engaging in warfare? It's a false God. So your God is a God of war. Look what the Oahspe say. Judgment is rendered against every nation and all people in the world who carry on war or who are accessory to war, in which any man created alive by Jehovah is slain in defense of any king, King David, or any other rulers, or in defense of any country, Israel, or any government, America, in the world. So it don't matter who you are. If you carrying it on, engaging in warfare, judgment is rendered against you. This is a decree from the Creator coming down. This ain't play, Israel. Y'all playing around, thinking y'all the chosen. The judgment is rendered against all nations and people. This is bigger than your God. Verse 14. Whether any war is of offense or defense, my judgment is against its aiders, abettors, and against the kings and queens, or other rulers who are what? Parties to war, willingly, knowingly, or otherwise. So, nigga, you can't run from this judgment that's coming up on you. Y'all niggas keep playing with war. Y'all think it's a game. Y'all keep inspiring the ideology of warfare in your doctrine and your belief and carrying that out into the streets, putting that into people's head. The government's already at war. We're the peacemakers. Because y'all going down in death and destruction. That's where you headed. Oahspe Bilble, first book of God, chapter 16, verse 16. I commanded them. Here's the correction for you niggas. I commanded them since the ancient times to kill not at all. My words were plain. But the kings commanded the priests to interpret my words in such a way that war could be justified. See that? Look at that. Y'all don't even got shit like that in the Bible to distinguish that. Your Creator don't want you to war. That was the decree. Thou shalt not murder and kill. But the priest can figure out a way like, you know what? We can work around that. We could, we ain't going to call it murdering. We're going to call it killing. Or we're going to call it killing, but we ain't going to call it murdering. Y'all playing semantics. Y'all playing games. Y'all playing interpretation games, leaning on your private interpretation. Exodus 20:13. You shall not murder. Plain as day. You shall not murder. That was the law that Moses came with, right? But then we see Moses slewing a man. Verse 18, thus they have perverted my commandments from beginning to end. See that? But I declare to you that in my sight, I will hold him accountable who kills one man, and 10 times accountable if he kills 10 men, and 100 times for 100. How many gods? How many people your God sent you to kill Israel in the Bible? Even among yourselves, even God engaging in the killing. So who is this giving this decree right here, judgment? They shall not hide death and murder from my sight by the word war. See, this decree is coming from a higher light. This is above your pay grade. This is above the biblical God. The biblical God can't put a decree out like this because he is guilty of this. The biblical God is guilty of bloodshed. Judges chapter 20, the wars of Benjamin and Israel is the proof. The wars of Benjamin and Israel in Judges chapter 20 is a war between the tribes, God's chosen people, no outside nations. And then God comes down himself and start killing Benjamites. So how can God give this decree that we're reading right here? This has to come from a higher light, a higher source. A source that's giving you the comparison contrast so you'll know within yourself, you'll be convicted to be like, damn, I've been off. Let me get right. Or you just stay in the darkness, right? Numbers chapter 1, verse 3. From 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel, thou and Aaron shall number them by their armies. So the God of war is preparing Israel to go to war. Book of Inspiration, chapter 8, verse 16. But these are your evil inspirations, O man. These come from your birth, your surrounding, formerly called Satan, to kill. So if you go into war, you're going to kill. Evil inspiration, to slander, to punish, to destroy Jehovah's created beings, to strive for self above another, to gratify your flesh at the expense of purifying wisdom, to be false to the Creator, to be false to yourself. Look at that. You niggas is running around here being false to yourself. We showing you the truth. This ain't hard to understand. You just in denial because you've made yourself bound to the Bible. You made yourself bound to the Bible. Just like the Christians. Just like the old Negro Christians from the 1800s, bound to that book. Just like grandma was bound to that book. Just like great-grandma was bound to that book. Now you bound to the book. Somebody speaks coming against the book, you get defensive. But what if they're coming to speak truth against the book and expose the fact that this book has been deceiving people for thousands of years? You're being false to yourself. And then after that, you speak falsely. When we show you the light, we compare and contrast the light. We show you the distinction between the Creator and the gods and the characteristics. And you speak falsely because you don't have nothing to stand on. Book of Judgment, chapter 32, verse 17. The angels take delight in evil spirits. These angels that take delight in evil instead of good, sometimes they go about singly and sometimes in gangs of hundreds of even thousands. So look, these angels take delight in evil instead of good. See that? You gotta see what's going on here. These niggas is delighting in evil instead of good. So they let you know you have a choice. You ain't gotta be delighting in evil. You could be doing good. But your God is delighting in evil because he out here smoking Benjamin. Judges 20. Look at this. Precept 1 Kings 22:19. And he said, hear thou, therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne. And all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right and on his left. So right here, the Lord is sitting on his throne. This is deception. How can this be better for our people if you think the Lord, the Most High Creator, is sitting on the throne? You've been deceived. You've been greatly deceived. Verse 18. In the past, the false gods used such angels to fulfill curses on mortals and to carry poison in the air and inoculate mortals with foul diseases. See that? That's your God. Putting curses on mortals, delighting in evil instead of good, bringing death, destruction to his own creation. Malachi chapter 2, verse 2. If you do not listen, and if you do not take it to heart to give honor to my name, says the Lord of hosts, then I will send the curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings, and indeed I have cursed them already. This is your Most High, not mine, because you are not taking it to heart. So this is the Most High, your Most High in the Bible, cursing you when we just read right here that in the past, the false gods use such angels to fulfill curses on mortals. See that? The false god used such angels to curse mortals. So now it says, if you don't listen, if you don't take to heart to give me honor my name, the Lord, says the Lord of hosts. Says the Lord of hosts. The Lord of hosts would be equivalent to such angels. I'm going to speak in behalf of the false god to fulfill curses on mortals. So how can this be beneficial When your God is cursing niggas, when the Oahspe is letting you know that, that comes from false God and it will never come from the creator or true God. It's beneficial to know. Book of Judgment 32:19. Behold, in this day, my angels have shown that they can bring flowers in ponderous bodies. Similarly, the false gods with their trained warrior angels who delight in evil could cast mortals in death by poison and suffocation. See, Oahspe is exposing false gods and their behavior, which behavior can be found in the Bible under your God with his false gods, false warrior angels, trained warrior angels. These niggas is trained to do what they do. Precept 1 Samuel 15:2-3. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, and he laid wait for him in the way when he came up to Egypt. Precept Oahspe Bible, Book of Judgment, chapter 32, verse 14. And whether any war is offensive or defensive. See that? My judgment is against you. So right here, I remember that which Amalek did. So he's bringing up in the act from, you remember what Sunday? Let's get back. You remember when y'all was playing the offense? Now we're going to play the defense. Remember when you was playing the defense? Now we're going to play the offense. See that? Oahspe's trapping you up. Showing you that the Lord, who you think is the Most High, is false. He's over here playing with evil and destruction and death. He the Most High. What he doing is subjecting to himself to them low levels. Right? And then you got the black Hebrew Israelites who follow these brothers, Crowdy. You know what I mean? How can this be beneficial for our people? He ain't no real Israelite. He's not a descendant, and he doesn't have a pedigree of upholding the Hebrew Israelite culture. He had a vision. You can't even prove a pedigree of being an Israelite in history. You can't prove nothing other than reading it from the Bible. Anybody could write about black people. A white man could write about a black man. That's in the book, though. Can you prove it outside the book? Look, he was also one of the earliest known black Israelites in the United States. He the forefather of this whole Israelite movement or this ideology, right? Crowdy. And look what it states. Look, he established the Church of God of Saints in Christ. We know who Christ is. Nigga, that's Luamong. What you do and establish, Creator Gang will never establish any name of a congregation with the name Christ in it. Never. Understanding the stigma that comes behind that name that Luamong did, we wouldn't associate with it. We wouldn't name it that. We know better. Right? But look, in 1896, after he claimed to have what? A vision. A vision. You have to have vision. You have to have vision, Willie. This nigga had a vision, bro. Telling him that blacks are descendants of the 12 lost tribes of Israel. So he had a vision, and someone in the vision is telling him this. Who was telling him this? Is this Christ? Did Christ come to Crowdy and give him a vision that the blacks were the descendants of the 12 lost tribes? He became a deacon in the local Baptist church and an active member of the Prince Hall branch of Freemason. He was a Mason. Y'all want to be blackity blacks? He's a Freemason. A Prince Hall branch of the Freemason. Those are the nigger Masons. The nigger Masons was crying to get permission from the white Masons to have recognition. Is this better for black folks? Y'all say John Bilal Newbro was a Mason, but can't prove it. We don't got the year he was initiated nor the branch. That Fugazi shit y'all trying to pull now. That's the Prince Hall. Why you, hey, look at that. This should be the dress code of the Israelites right here. Your forefather who had a vision, the first Israelite, the black Hebrew Israelite, was a Mason. He had to go through the steps to become this. He had to go through the degrees to wear whatever he had to wear that. There go your Star of David right there. You got Masonic ties, nigga. This cat is the founder of the Black Masonry in the United States. But how they become that? It says before the American Revolution War, Hall and 14 other free black men petitioned for admittance to the all-white Boston St. John's Lodge. These niggas kissing ass. The first Hebrew Israelite is up under the Prince Hall Masons, which, in order to get recognition, was kissing ass to these white Masons in Boston. 14 of these niggas. 14 other free black men petitioned for admittance to the all-white Boston St. Lodge. And guess what? They were turned down. Having been rejected by colonial Freemasons, Hall and 15 others sought and were initiated into Masonry by members of Lodge number 411. Let me 441. Get my mouth right here. Initiated into Masonry by members of Lodge number 441 of the Grand Lodge of Ireland on March 6, 1775. So somebody let him in. So these niggas was kissing ass to become a Mason, yo. The lodge was attached to the British. See that? Look. This is what your boy Crowdy became a part of, the Prince Hall Mason. And this is how the Prince Hall Masons got their recognition, by kissing Whitey's ass. The lodge was attached to the British forces to station in Boston. Hall and other free men founded African Lodge number 1. And he was named Grand Master. So he had to go through all that. He had to be rejected by the Boston Lodge. He was accepted by the Ireland. And then now he's getting recognition as being a Grand Master. Who's the puppet? These niggas is puppets for their masters. These niggas is puppet masters for these goddamn crackers. And your boy, Crowdy, he kissing ass to them crackers. Because he is a goddamn Prince Hall Freemason. And if you a Prince Hall Freemason, you got to follow protocol by the Ireland Lodge, because that's who gave you recognition right here. Lodge number 441 of the Great Lodge of Ireland. You niggas is at the feet of them because they give you your recognition. So if them niggas say do this in the lodge, I need y'all to do that in the lodge, you Prince Hall Freemasons got to do it. Because if not, they're gonna take away your credibility. So this guy right here, Prince Hall, is kissing the feet of the Grand Lodge of Ireland right here. He kissing their ass right here. So your boy Crowdy is kissing the ass of Prince Hall, and Prince Hall is kissing the ass of the Iron Lodge, the Grand Lodge of Ireland. How can this be better for our people, huh? Oh, John Bilal Nubo was a Mason, and y'all can't even find nothing about him being a Mason. But here, we have your goddamn four-founding Israelite father rooted deeply in the Prince Hall Masonic order. How is this better for our people? Bible thumpers, Bible readers, Israel. Yo, come on, man. Look at this guy. That's who they got to kiss ass to, yo. That's who the Black Masons of the Prince Hall Lodge got to kiss ass to. Richard Pearsons, first Earl of Rosa. Just a little history of the lodge. The United Grand Lodge of England. See, all these niggas is in bed with these motherfuckers because they the gatekeepers of the Masonic order. So the free black Masons is them niggas is trying to get them niggas is trying to be like they slave masters. Why not just start something wholly new? So hey, we're coming back to this nigga. He had the vision. Your boy Crowdy, huh? He was a guy, and look what he named his he said in 1903, he bought 40 acres of land in Soapforth, Virginia, calling it Canaan land. Canaan land. The nigga who started the Israelite ideology named his land Canaan land. Now, today, Israelites to tell you that, the Canaanites, that's the curse. We had to slaughter the Canaanites and kill the Canaanites, and the Canaanites are the cursed seed, and da-da-da-da with the Canaanites this. But your forefather, the first nigga who said he was a black Hebrew Israelite, named his land Canaan land. He named it after the cursed people. How was this beneficial for our people if we want to do a history of how Hebrew Israelitism got started in the Americas? We got to go back to this guy. And he gets 40 acres and name it Canaan land? 40 acres and a mule? And name it cursed land? The cursed land? Come on, man. I need to stop playing, yo. Now look at this. The Church of God and Saints of Christ. Now the Church of God and Saints of Christ, that's his church he made up, right? It says he proceeded to create the Church of God and Saints of Christ. Now look what it states when you look it up. The Church of Saints of God in Christ, look what it says. Headquartered in Belleville, described itself as the oldest African-American congregation in the United States that adheres to the tenets of Judaism. Nigga, hush your mouth. Hush your mouth, Israel. How can blackity black Israel Bible be beneficial to our people when the first nigga who became an Israelite, who identified as being a black Israelite, is adherent to Jewish tenets? He kissing ass to them Jews. Not only is he kissing ass to them goddamn white Masons, he's kissing ass to the European Jews now. He got to adhere to tenets of Judaism. What does adhere mean? Stick fast to. Strict. Come on, son. It further teaches that among the descendants of the biblical Israelites, there are people of African descent. Now, that's the first nigga who came and gave you that we the black Israelites in America and yippity yappity and dippity dappity. It's trash. He had a vision, and in the vision, somebody told him, we don't know who that was, but we're going to say that's Christ, because he named his church Christ. You know, Lou Among paid this nigga a visit. You know what I mean? Lou Among paid him a visit. Because look, let's go back up. The Church of God and Saints of Christ. Huh? He got Christ in there and he had a vision. He claimed to have had several visions in which he was told. He had a vision, and in the vision he was told that black people were descendants of the 12 lost tribes. That's what he was told. That's where your idea of you being a black Hebrew Israelite come from. Not from a historical lineage of upholding pedigree of Tanakh and Torah and showing compiling and authorization and halak. You ain't do none of that. You got the concept of you being a black Hebrew Israelite from the vision of Crowdy. Which we know is goddamn more likely one of these false angels playing around with you, deceiving you. Then you got Frank Cherry, he another one. He another one. Frank Cherry was a founder and leader of one of the early black Hebrew Israelite groups in the United States. He did not go to school, but educated himself in both Hebrew and Yiddish. I thought Yiddish was the ops, son. Yiddish is a Western Germanic language historically spoken by Ashkenazi Jews. Ain't no Bantu Negro from the Congo speaking Yiddish. Why you learning that shit for? These are the forefathers of your Israelite movement, and these niggas is in bed with the European Jews. Both of these niggas. Both of these niggas. And not only that, look at this. This nigga was a Mason too. Y'all so stuck up on this Mason talk, during which he claimed to have been declared a prophet. He was a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Mason and a member of the Big Brothers organization. So he in bed with the crackers too. He in bed with the European Masons too. Whatever they say goes. Cherry, I need you to do this. Cherry, I need you to go over here and do that. I need you to put up some of this in the building. I want you to put up a cross in the temple, in your synagogue. Whatever they say, go. You in bed with these niggas. You initiated yourself to become a Mason. Scott Wright Mason, Scottish Rite Freemason. Who started that? Look, Albert Pike. This nigga decided to become a 33rd degree Mason under Albert Pike. This is cherry. How can this be beneficial to our people, blackity black Israel? When your forefather Israelites established their doctrine under the Masonic order. You know, we ain't thinking about joining. Which one of you niggas is thinking about, I'm going to go be a Mason? Who thinking like that? Which one of you niggas right now is just out the blue thinking, I'm going to just become a Mason out the blue? So what were these men into for him to engage to wanting to become a Mason? What's your intent? What you trying to do? Cherry coming back up. During his claim, Cherry's claim to have been declared a prophet, false prophet, he was a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Mason and member of the Big Brother organization. See that? You can't have no Big Brother organization if it ain't goddamn coming from that boy Albert Pike. Man, come on, bro. Y'all boys playing games. Frank Cherry claimed to what? He had a vision too. He had the same vision that African Americans are the descendants of the ancient Israelites during his time abroad. So he ain't got no real pedigree. He had a vision just like the other nigga had a vision. And then in 1886, he preached that white people were inherently evil and hated by God. They go, your hate doctrine for the Europeans. That's where it came from. Any Israelite doctrine that teaches hate, that that God hates the white man, it came from him. It came from him. It didn't come from Bible. It came from this nigga. Because in the Bible, God hate every goddamn body in the Bible. You say in the Bible that God loved Jacob but hated Esau. But then in Judges 20, God smote 25,100 Benjamites. That's hate. That's a greater hate for Esau. Show me in the Bible where Esau... Hold up. Pause real quick. Let me break real quick. Show me in the Bible where God kills 25,100 Edomites. Show that. Let's pull up Bible, Blue Letter Bible real quick. Let's pull that up real quick. Let's pull up that blue letter real quick. You just harping around. Look at that. We go to Judges. Chapter 20. Don't talk to me about chosen people this, chosen people that. Y'all sound foolish. Now look at this. Look what the Lord does. Right here. Judges chapter 20, verse 35. Look what it states. And the Lord smote Benjamin before Israel. So right here, you have Yahuwah killing Benjamites before Israel. God's chosen people. God is killing his own chosen people before his chosen people. He's not killing Edomites here. He's not killing Canaanites here. Oh, God so loved Jacob, but he hated Esau. We're not dealing with that here. The Lord so much hate Benjamin before Israel. The Lord loves Israel but hate Benjamin in this instance. Prove me wrong. The Lord smote Benjamin before Israel, so the Lord is showing favor before Israel by smoting Benjamin. And the children of Israel destroyed of Benjamin that day 25,000 men, 25,100 men. All these drew the sword. So now, here you have the Lord killing 25,100 of his chosen people. Show me an instance where the Lord is treating the Edomites like this. Where the Edomites getting treated? Shouldn't the Edomites be getting treated like this if they the cursed seed? Shouldn't the Canaanites be getting treated like this since they the cursed seed? First, your Lord told you to go up into the Israelites and kill the Canaanites. And he was displeased with that. Now the Lord got you killing each other, and he's delegating the killing, and then jumps in and involves himself in the killing. How the hell can this be better for black people? Blackity black Israel? When your God is delegating black on black crime? Blackity black Israel? Show me in the Bible where the Lord kills 25,100 Edomites like he got them killing them goddamn Israelites. You know what I mean? Them boys ain't got nothing. We vibing out, family. Cosmogony in the building. I see you, King Wagwan. Order, That's right, we getting early morning service, nigga. Early morning Jehovah ghetto gospel service, nigga. It's a blood clot vibes. Run the rhythm. Let's take a break and run the rhythm. Give me some vortexes in the chat. See, can't like get that vortex. Throw me some vortices. Where them vortexes at? We distinguishing and showing you how the Oahspe is more beneficial than the Bible. And we ain't even going that deep. We're just freestyling off the top of the dome. Salute. It's a vibes. You know how we do the pride. Let's roll up. Let's dance. We ain't going nowhere. Let's dance for a minute. Salute to the righteous gods and goddesses. Gang in the building. I see you, family. Yes, creators light shining over here. Triple nigga killer in the building. Brandon presence, I see you. We vibing, we dancing. You're on the dance floor right now. We two-stepping right now. We two-stepping right now. Come on. Come on with it. The Church of Jehovah gonna be like over here. That's how we vibing over here. Get your grub on. Positive vibrations. You know what I mean? We ain't talking about killing over here. We're talking about the results of killing over here. It's a blood clot virus. Take a commercial break. Make sure to get your bitters.
Bittersweet Herbals. What it tastes is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Run the rhythm.
Bittersweet Herbals. What it tastes is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Run the rhythm. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to the top. Let's bring it to the top. That's right. It's two-step time, baby. It's just a day in the life. A day in the life. It's just a day in the life. Day in the life. Just another day in the life. Just a day in the life. It's just a day in the life. My Pac shit, you know what I mean? Vibing out. Quick session, take a quick recession. You know, when you're watching, when you talk about the recreational times, when the Ethereans mix with the atmospherians, you know, cross compare, tell stories. Ethereans to let the atmospherians know about the Etherean worlds, the recreational time. Recreational time. Ethereans come with that big Etherean split to let the atmospherians the wolf. Walk wide in them high Etherean heavens with a gun to them, man. You mean? You think them high Etherean and I blow ganja? They got that Etherean grave going over there. It's just a day in the life. We still here, we ain't going nowhere. I ain't done yet. We just vibing right now. We just vibing out right now. Two-stepping on the dance floor right now, that's it. Two-stepping. I'm on Chicago shit, okay? I'm on my Chicago shit right now. Salute to the shot. Yes, I, highly I. Ja, Rastafari. Over I. Yeah, yo. That motherfucker is sweet. That Creator Gang shit right there, nigga, that shit sweet, son. Shit sweet, sweet. I did off the AI. The AI app, when you just tell it what to do. I was like, yo, Creator Gang, Gold Trim, do, whatever. Stars. That shit made that up. Gang. The boy Shane got him. Shane got the shirt. That blue leaf code. Oh, I see why you like that blue leaf. I see why my West Coast like that blue leaf. West Side. Come on, West Side Riders. Salute to my West Side Riders. We all over the map. The gangs all over, man. The gangs all over, man. Being supposed to be reckoned with, played with. Now we're gonna go with the Paul ass right now, you know what I mean? We're gonna go to Paul now. We're gonna explore Paul. Because you got all these Israelites running on Paul's doctrine. So we just skimming through today, you know what I mean? That's what we just skimming through. First we touched on creation, showing how the creation is also, how can that be beneficial? Then we went to the characteristics of the gods. You know what I mean? Going in the evil practice of war, how can that be beneficial? Now, we got a lot of people that follow Paul. A nigga who never met Yahshua, but claimed to have a vision. And y'all niggas ran with it. Paul, right? Now, okay. Let me go back up. We get the description of Paul. That's right? The physical appearance of Paul is described as an Edomite. Now, this is, no, we don't, Creative Game don't care nothing about this shit, to be honest. But when we dealing with the Israelites, these are the matters that is important to them. Paul, the Edomites, they can't stand the Edomites, the Canaanites, the Hamites. They hate everybody if it ain't Israel. But in the Bible, Paul is supposed to be a Benjamite. But we know that this nigga ain't no Benjamite, first off, because this nigga is described as being a pale, red, florid face, pomegranate. He ain't described as no nigga, right? So here are some of the appearances of Paul: being a pale countenance, red, florid face, pomegranate, red hair. So all that right there is what they described as Paul. And ain't none of it sound like no goddamn brown-skinned Edomite man as they describe on them charts, right? Now, how did Edomites become Jews? Because we making the claim that Paul is an Edomite. And during the time of Paul, you had many Edomites masquerading as Jews, even claiming tribes. So now, right here, the highlights. I'm just reading the highlights for the most part. Antipater's family had converted to Judaism in the 2nd century BCE. Now, Antipater is the father of the Edomites. So he converted. There you go right there. There go the proof. There's the conversion proof. Your boy Paul is coming from that descendants. And then it says, different stories circulate in the wake of his son's coming to power. They demonstrate the tension that exists between the Jewish people and the powerful Edomites. So they're making a distinction. The Edomites masquerading as Jews and the actual Jews themselves. Instead, Josephus explains that Antipater's family converted to Judaism during the forced conversion by the Sadducees influenced Hasmonean leader John Hyrcanus. Huh? John forced them niggas to be Edomites. I mean, to convert to Judaism. But look, be circumcised and entered into tradition of the Jews. So he forced them niggas to circumcise. Hyrcanus put the pressure on these boys. He won't play no games. Hyrcanus threatened that any Edomite, Idumean, who wished to maintain their land would need to be circumcised and enter into the tradition of the Jews. Josephus acknowledged Herod as being by birth a Jew, and Antipater as being of the same people with the Jews. Nevertheless, this influential family came to be resented by many Jews for their Edomite ancestry, a fact used by the Hasmoneans and their supporters against them. So these Edomites is masquerading, thinking that they the real Jews now. Paul transgressed the law of circumcision. Galatians chapter 5, verse 1, Paul says unto you that if ye be circumcised, Christ shall not profit you anything. See that? He's going against the commandments. Look what Hyrcanus stated. Hyrcanus upheld the law of circumcision. Hyrcanus threatened that any Idumean Edomite who wished to maintain their land would need to be circumcised and entered into the tradition of the Jews. So Hyrcanus is upholding the law of circumcision, while Paul is telling you, if ye be circumcised, Christ shall not profit you nothing. See that? So why Christ divert? I mean, why Paul divert? How can Paul be beneficial to your people if he's telling you, if you get circumcised, Christ shall profit you nothing? So that's giving you the pretext like, well, I don't need to be circumcised. Huh? Paul is playing mind games with you niggas, and you fell for it. The law of circumcision. Where's that? The law of circumcision? Genesis chapter 17, verse 10. Look what it states through 14. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. And ye shall be circumcised, and you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin. And it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Every man child in your generation, he that is born in the house or brought with money, or any stranger which is not of thy seed. Even the stranger gets circumcised. So what is Paul talking about? Huh? Verse 13. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. What the hell is Paul talking about? This is an everlasting covenant for the male child by your creator, your most high, according to the Bible. But Paul is telling you that it's not beneficial to Christ. Who is Christ? But look what it states. And the uncircumcised man, child, whose flesh is of his foreskin, is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. Paul broke the goddamn covenant. Where that verse we talk about the uncircumcised gospel and the circumcised gospel? Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold up. All right, that's Galatians 2:7. Let's go to Galatians 2:7 real quick. The council at Jerusalem. All right, yeah. I guess when Paul go to Jerusalem now. It stays here. Let me see. But contrawise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcised was committed unto me, as the gospel of circumcision was unto Peter. So when they saw that the gospel of uncircumcision was committed unto me, as the gospel of circumcision was unto Peter. So Peter is upholding the gospel of circumcision, while Paul is running with the gospel of uncircumcision. We just showed right here in verse 14, it says, and the uncircumcised man, child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people, and he hath broken my covenant. So here, Paul is out here preaching a gospel of uncircumcision. This nigga running around here preaching the whole gospel about it. And according to the Old Testament, according to God in the Old Testament, that he who is uncircumcised breaks my commandment, my covenant. So Paul out here breaking the covenant, while Peter is upholding the gospel of the circumcision. And the uncircumcised man, child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. Nigga, Paul, you cut from your people because you're going against the commandment, the covenant of the Most High, according to the Hebrew Israelite doctrine. So what are we talking about here? The gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me. Who gave you that gospel of uncircumcision? Huh? Who gave you that? That goddamn false Christ. Look what it states. Coming back up. Galatians 5:1. Paul, behold, Paul. Now look at that. Behold, Paul, say unto you. Now, most times when you read the Bible, it says, behold, the Lord first. Or it'll be like the prophet was inspired by the Lord to speak. Paul is self-proclaiming his own authority with him saying, behold, Paul, say unto you. He's speaking with his own authority. He's not coming in the name of the Lord. He's coming in the name of a Christ that he never met. Behold, Paul, say unto you, that if ye be circumcised, Christ shall profit you nothing. He's telling you if you be circumcised, it don't matter. Christ shall profit you nothing. Christ, not the Old Testament. Christ, that ain't the Old Testament. That ain't Exodus. That ain't, Genesis. That ain't the God of Genesis right here. Christ, who's this? Who is this Christ this nigga preaching? Hebrew Israelites never preached no Christ. They was preaching Yahweh, the Lord. Thus saith the Lord. Now all of a sudden it's thus saith Christ. So here we have Paul breaking the goddamn, and then keep in mind, Hyrcanus kept the law. Why? If the law was done away with, why Hyrcanus ain't done away with it? Why he emphasized the need for circumcision if the law was done away with during Hyrcanus' time? And it was Hyrcanus that commanded you niggas, you Edomites, to be circumcised. And here you have Paul, a wandering stranger, telling you Christ's not going to benefit you if you circumcise. It don't matter. Going against the law, bending the law, leaning on his own understanding. Right? So now, it says that he was from Tarsus. We just read how these niggas converted to become Jews. The Hellenization of the city began in the days of Alexander the Great. This influence was fully felt by the Jews who had been colonized at Tarsus by Seleucids around 170 BC. During the reign of Antiochus Epiphanes, a revolt of these colonies provide a factor in Jewish history. 2 Maccabees 34:30-38. And when the king was come again from the place about Cilicia, the Jews that were in the city and certain of the Greeks that adored in the fat. So this is showing you that they did have Jews in Tarsus. So nevertheless, further, it is known regarding the Jews of this city, although it later became famous as the birthplace of Saul of Tarsus, who lived there for a time. And it says he claimed Roman citizenship in virtue thereof. So he got Roman citizenship. Only niggas who could get Roman citizenship is goddamn Edomites. Yo, here's a highlight right here. A Jew could not have been a citizen in a Greek town unless the sovereign had ordered that the Jews of the city in question form a serpent genes. Look at this. Look at this rise. During the time of Pompey, 67 BC, Tarsus was made the capital over the Roman province of Cilicia, and the Jews began to receive Roman citizenship. Antony, who controlled the eastern province, declared the city free in 42 BC. Tarsus continued to receive special privileges under Augustus, who exempt the city from imperial taxes because Athenodorus, his teacher and friend, was a Tarsian. So here's history showing you how Jews became Edomites, how these Edomite Jews got Roman citizenship. See that? Now here's where Paul claimed to be from the tribe of Benjamin. Philippians 3:5. Circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel of the tribe of Benjamin and Hebrews as touching the law, a Pharisee. A Jewish from a tribe of Judah, a Benjamin from the tribe of Benjamin. It stated Jews in Tarsus, not Benjamites. Uh-oh. We got a problem there. Now look, Paul admits to being a freeborn Roman. Acts 22:25, and as they bound him, Paul, with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman? And then condemned. Now, ain't no real zealot-ass Hebrew Israelites in the first century going to be claiming to be a Roman. They ain't going to say no shit like that. Who going to say that? You think James is going to say that? You think Peter is going to say that? You think Yahshua going to get jammed up and say, yo, I'm a Roman? Hell no. This nigga Paul playing games. When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, take heed what thou do, for this man is a Roman. Then the chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? He said, yes. Why he ain't say he a Benjamite? Why he ain't say he a Jew? Nah, I ain't no Roman, I'm a Benjamite. Nah, I ain't no Roman, I'm a Judite. He asked him, are you a Roman? He said, yeah. And you know, it ain't like lying today. Like you can just lie like how we freely lie today. Like in them days, nigga, lying and still probably get your shit. You know what I mean? You get your shit rocked back then. You know what I mean? You lying back then, you may still get killed off the whim of your word. Oh, this nigga lying, take him to the den. You know, that's still them, still the tail end of them days. Then the chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? He said, yeah. See that? That nigga's an American. And the chief captain answered, with a great sum obtained I this freedom. And Paul said, but I was freeborn. See that? Who got freeborn citizenship? Like Melly always say, it was Antipater and his family, the Edomites. Ain't no Israel. You think Yahshua had freeborn Roman citizenship in the first century? You think the Essenes had freeborn Roman citizenship? How did this nigga obtain freeborn Roman citizenship? Because he had to be a descendant of the Edomites to even claim that. You think if this nigga was lying and they found that he was lying, you think they would have not killed him? Take his head off? Or this nigga lying? This nigga, he a spy. He an agent. This nigga got a fake identity. Yeah, they gonna get him. Look, how does one become a freeborn Roman citizen? We have to go back to 47 BCE when the father of Herodian Antipater was granted Roman citizenship from Julius Caesar. There you got it. There you got it. After Julius Caesar defeated Pompey at the Battle of Pharsalus, Antipater sided with Caesar. Antipater sided with Caesar. Now, Antipater is the father of the Edomites, the Herodians, I should say, the Herodians. Antipater sided with Caesar during the Roman Civil War during Caesar's Egyptian campaign. Antipater joined Mithridates and Pergamon's army marching to rescue in Caesar Alexandria. Caesar made him chief minister of Judah. There it is right there. Caesar made Antipater the chief minister of Judea, as Judah became known to the Romans, with the right to collect taxes eventually. See, Caesar positioned Antipater over Judah. That's why Herod had so much power in the region of Judea, because of this agreement with Caesar and his forefather Antipater. Caesar made Antipater's son Phasaelus and Herod the governors of Jerusalem and Galilee. See that? Romans put them niggas in position. Romans is the one that gave the niggas free citizenship because Antipater helped Caesar in battle. See that? You niggas ain't got no history of the Benjamites obtaining Roman citizenship. Show me Benjamites obtaining Roman citizenship. Since Paul is a Benjamite, show me when the Benjamites obtained Roman citizenship. I'm showing you when the Edomites, the Herodians, obtained Roman citizenship and being freeborn Romans. Now look, when Julius Caesar and Pompey went to war in 49-48 BCE, Antipater at first sided with Pompey. When the latter was defeated by Caesar, Antipater shifted his alliance to Caesar. While Caesar was besieged in Alexandria in 47 BCE, Antipater and Mithridates in Pergamon rescued him. This is where this nigga got favored. They rescued Caesar with 13,000 men and an aid of numerous nearby friends. It was that act right there. For his demonstration of valor, Caesar elevated Antipater to Roman citizenship, freed him from taxes, and showed him with honor and declaration of friendship. So when Paul said he was a freeborn Roman, is because of this deed that his forefather did, this agreement that was given through Caesar, that there will be free Roman citizens and freeborn and they won't pay taxes. So Paul is a spoiled-ass kid running around here using up his advantage rights. So it was Julius Caesar who put Herod governor over Jerusalem, the Herodian family being classified as having Roman citizenships free from paying taxes. So Paul stated that he is a freeborn citizen, is admitting he is a Herodian, has Herodian ties. See that? Thanks to Malachi Maccabee, you got the family of Saulus, family of Antipater, and you see Saulus right here, B. Antipater, Saulus, Paul. So how can studying Paul, y'all want to talk about John Bilal Newbro, the white man, but here you follow the words and of Paul like it's the words of Yeshua, and he over here going against the grain. First and foremost, he's not even an Israelite. He lied. Because any nigga can claim the Jews claim to be Jews, and you say they're not Jews, right? But how do you prove that they're not Jews? You go through their history and their background. So we just did the same thing with the Edomites. We did the same thing to connect Paul association with being a Roman citizen and having being a freeborn with the connection with Antipater and Caesar. Their agreement. We can make that connection. That's how Paul is exposed. We're not just saying that just to be saying that. We're showing you why we're saying what we're saying. So for you blackity black Israelites, how can you follow Paul, who told you to not circumcise because it benefits you nothing in Christ? But Hyrcanus was following circumcision. You know, your God told you to follow it as a covenant, and then it tells you, I took that out. Oh man, that's funny. The conditions for the uncircumcised, nigga, you'll be cut from the covenant. So Paul got you niggas cut from the covenant. Because you're supposed to be following the covenant. I mean, the circumcision law. Paul got you niggas deflected. Here's the first mention of Paul in the Bible. Acts 7:58. And cast him out of the city and stoned him, and the witness laid down their clothes at a young man's feet, whose name was Saul. See that? Look at that. And Saul was consenting unto his death. And at that time, there was a great persecution against the church, which was at Jerusalem. A great persecution. Who was at the church of Jerusalem? Who was at the church of Jerusalem? Who did Yeshua leave in charge to spread the word? It was the disciples and the followers of those disciples. And they were all scattered abroad throughout the regions of Judea, Samaria, except the apostles. What does consent mean? Give permission. So Paul out here commissioned the nigga's death. So Saul is first mentioned in the Bible consenting to the killing of Stephen. Not only that, prior to that, Paul was creating havoc. Acts 8:3. As for Saul, he made havoc of the church, entering every house and dragging off men and women, committing them to prison. How can this nigga be a Benjamite doing his own people like that? The Edomite, I can see them doing that. The masquerading Jew. If the masquerading Jew was coming into the Negroes in that environment, I can see that. But a black man coming to a black man like that, that's some house nigga shit. Who got you doing that? Saul was laying in bed with the Romans. He said he a Roman. You remember, it was the Romans that gave governorship over Judea. Saul is an imposter, yo. He created havoc and he imprisoned niggas. And of course, we got the pictures to go with it. You know, our people is a visual people. Look what that. Look what Acts 9 say. Then Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord. He trying to kill him. Went to the high priest and asked letters for him to the synagogues of Damascus, so that if he found any who were of the way, whether men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. So he wilded. Paul out here wilding. It's the same niggas y'all niggas want to talk about as beneficial for our people, but this nigga Saul is playing slave master. Now, let's put this in perspective. Y'all mad at the Oahspe and John Bilal Nubro, a white man, but here you have Paul, a goddamn white Edomite, that's persecuting Israelites, then have a change of heart, come back preaching about a Christ, and you niggas today is following him. How is that benefit? That's like following a slave master. That's why I got the slave master right there. That's Paul playing slave master before he had a change of heart. So any nigga rocking with Paul is a goddamn house nigga. Field niggas ain't fucking with Paul. Field niggas ain't fucking with slave master. Look, bound. Look what it say. So that if he found any who were of the way, whether men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. So they go Saul, Paul, bounding the Israelites, the Hebrews, the Jews in Jerusalem. But I'm showing you slavery, images of slavery. I'm showing you the connection of Paul's behavior with the acts of slavery of today. So slave master Saul, Paul, is doing the exact same things the slave master did to us. But you want to uphold Paul's letter. You want to say Paul is a follower of Christ. And then you got the nerve to talk about the Oahspe and John Nubro being a white man, and you got this act in your book. So now, all that hate, blackity black hate crime talk, the white man, that was taught from Cherry, 1886. He brought that out. And y'all niggas followed that ideology. Y'all look for verses in the Bible to validate God hating white people, which in return, according to y'all, is the Edomites. That's Cherry. That's Cherry doctrine. Not only that, Cherry gave you that. Look what else Cherry gave you. Cherry also espoused anti-Semitism, claimed that the earth is a square. Not flat, but a square. Well, just imagine debating niggas during his day. Nigga, the earth is a square. And professed that Jesus would return in the year 2000 to start a race war. Now, who out of all the camps made the claim that Jesus would return in the year 2000? Leave it in the chat. What Hebrew camp claimed that in the year 2000, Jesus will return and nuclear warfare will take place and the race wars will pop off? Who made that claim coming to the year 2000? Leave it in the chat if you know. I'm going to check to see. So whatever Israelite camp that professed that prior to 2000, because there was an Israelite camp professing that in the late 90s, that when the year 2000 come, that Jesus going to come, all type of crazy shit. That concept came from Cherry. He gave you that. I'm showing you the early ideologies of the Hebrew Israelites to show that these shit came from Masonic brothers. You know what I mean? Masonic brothers telling you these ideologies. I'm looking in the chat. Let me take a look real quick. Nope. Y'all ain't got it. Was that Oahspe PK? Nope. I'm gonna put it in the chat. This is the camp who confessed that right there. There it is. It was GMS family. Great milestone. It was GMS. Let me pull up a picture of the brothers. Hold up. I was running around here talking about the earth. Jesus is going to return back to the earth in the year 2000. And it's going to be warfare and all that. Damn. Let me see if I can find a picture of these bros. But nonetheless, it's an Israelite doctrine that these niggas was confessing. GMS. That's them brothers there. But I'm trying to get a better picture of them cats who was preaching that. It was high up for that. But he the face of that camp. It was his camp, this brother here, and his camp that was preaching that in the year 2000, it was going to be nuclear warfare and destruction. Jesus going to return all that. But we see that concept and ideology came from Cherry. Cherry gave you that. In 1886, he out here telling that, the white man is the devil, hated by God in 1886. And he also telling you that the earth is a square. And he's telling you that Jesus is going to come back in the year 2000. He said all that in 1886. He talking about the year 2000 in 1886. And we lived to see it, and the prophecy didn't come to pass. So what does the Bible say if a prophecy don't come to pass? Let's get that. Yeah. Where that Bible verse at? What's that Bible verse when a prophecy don't come to pass? Deuteronomy 18:22. Let's go there. Deuteronomy 18:22. Let's go there. Oh yeah. Oh yes. This day God. Right? 22. When a prophet speak in the name of the Lord, like GMS, they spoke in the name of the Lord. If the thing follows not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken. But the prophet that hath spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him. So this nigga lied on the Lord. He lied. He spoke about something. Him right here with him. Well, I took his picture down, but nonetheless, y'all seen him. He prophesied that. And the year 2000 came and went. We 25 years after, and we here chilling, dropping this higher light. Now, not only that, Cherry taught that the Talmud was authoritative. Huh? Why you ain't speaking on this, Mahabakar? Army of Israel? Your founder of the Israelite doctrine said that the Talmud was authoritative. Let's speak on that. Who gave you the Talmud? Who gave you the Talmud? Did a nigga give you the Talmud? Who gave you the Talmud? Let's go to the European authorship of the Bible, Hebrew Bible. That's the beautiful thing about these docs, nigga. We just nigga, we ready to debate. You know what I mean? Docs ready to go. So the Talmud, we talking about the Talmud. He said the Talmud is authoritative. Now, the Talmud is an offshoot of anything that Ezra would have put together. So there go Ezra, the Puerto Rican. Ezra, the Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The Puerto Ricans, y'all better stand up. That nigga Ezra look like a Puerto Rican, son. Y'all better take advantage of that. That the nigga who wrote the Tanakh was a Puerto Rican. So let's go to the what? He said the Talmud is authoritative. When did the Talmud come on the scene? We got the Samaritan Pentateuch, the Samaritan script, but he said the Jerusalem Talmud, 4th century CE. He's referencing the 4th century Common Era Jerusalem Talmud, which wasn't written by no niggas, as authoritative. And who's behind that? Johanan Bar Napar. 180 to 279 CE. Primary author of the Jerusalem Talmud. Was the leading rabbi in the early era of the Talmud. He belonged to the 2nd generation of Amorim. He wasn't no Bantu Negro from the Congo. Look, the Jerusalem Talmud probably originated in Tiberias in the school of Johanan Bar Napar around 180 to 279 CE. Yeah, look at that. It was compiled between the late 4th century to the first half of the 5th century. See that? That ain't no Bantu Negro from the Congo. The book that he claimed is authoritative is not a Bantu Negro from the Congo. So you got the Jerusalem Talmud, but then you got the Babylonian Talmud. He just said Talmud. See? He said the Talmud was authoritative. Is it the Jerusalem? Is it the Babylonian? But look, you got the Babylonian Talmud. Now we got to move into that. And now, not only that, we got a face to the Babylonian Talmud that he claims is authoritative. Both versions of the Talmud has 2 parts. The Mishnah, which is one version, which was finalized by Judah Nasi around the year 200 CE, Common Era. So Judah Nasi is responsible for revising the Mishnah after the siege of Jerusalem in 70 CE. Now you got the Babylonian Talmud, which is in the 6th to the 10th century CE. Now look, early printed of the Talmud by Rabbi Ashar, 352 to 427 Common Era, was a Babylonian Jewish rabbi of the 6th generation of Amorim. He reestablished the academy at Surah and was the first editor of the Babylonian Talmud. He's an editor. See that? But he ain't no Bantu Negro from the Congo. The term Talmud normally refers to a collection of writings named specifically the Babylonian Talmud, compiled in the 5th century by Rev Ashar. So these ain't no niggas doing this. These is European Jews that's authorizing, compiling the Talmud. According to the Talmud, much of the Tanakh was compiled by the men of the Great Assembly, the Tash in 450 BC. That's why I said all of it leads back. The Babylonian Talmud, the Mishnah, all that's going to always lead back to Ezra. These are just branches and break-offs of the Ezra or the Tanakh from that time. So you got Cherry, your black Hebrew Israelite daddy, telling you that the Talmud is authoritative. Now, how is that beneficial for blackity black Israel? And then not only that, he said that Jesus would return in the year AD 2000. This is another source that Jesus would have returned in the year 82,000, and the earth is a square surrounded by 3 layers of heaven. Another early key figure was William Christian, the pioneer of the movement were Freemasons, and it was strongly influenced by Masonic traditions. So, you know, first page of the Babylonian Talmud compiled by Rabbi Ashar. Ain't no Bantu Negro from the Congo. Look at that. It's the Talmud that he said it was authoritative. This is the face playing with it. These are the compilers and the authors and those who upheld it. This ain't no Bantu Negro from the Congo. Look at this hat. Look at that. Look at Jehu kissing the feet of the Assyrian. It's the same hat. This nigga got on the same hat that the rabbi got on here. These ain't no Negroes. Look at that. Let's get a close-up of that. Look at that. There it is. There he is. Look at the Yemenite Jewish man compared to the face of Jehu and the face of Rabbi Ashar. They all got on the same hat. That ain't you, Israel. Bag drop. Game over. Jehu's supposed to be one of the kings of Judah. Rabbi Ashar is supposed to be a descendant of the same people. That's several hundred years later. And then the Yemenite Jew is much later, and you still see that same lineage of people. This is when Cosmon Kel tell y'all niggas, y'all ain't the real Israelites. This is what Cosmon is trying to tell y'all. Been telling y'all. Been telling us that you ain't an Israelite. It all makes the hell of sense now, don't it? That ain't you. Now we come to this guy. So all Cherry told you that the Talmud was authoritative, and these are the faces of who upheld the Talmud. From Jehu, 8th, 7th century BC, to Rabbi Ashar, 3rd century, 4th century Common Era, and then to the Yemenite Jew, present time. What are we talking about here? You can't show me a historical lineage of niggas upholding Torah, tradition. This nigga, the Yemenite Jew, still got the hat on. Look, he still got the hat on his head that you see Rabbi Ashar and Jehu with the same hat on, holding up tradition. That's a dagger. So here you have Josiah Ford. He's the 3rd nigga to tell you that you were Israelite. But these niggas is coming after Cherry, coming after Crowdy. So now they're trying to form structure. He was a Barbadian, a Caribbean nigga. Pioneer for what? Figure of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. So he's a hand-me-down from Cherry and them. Ford founded the Ben-Ani Israel Synagogue in Harlem storefront and declared himself to be a rabbi. He did so, just like Paul, self-proclaiming, "Behold, I, Paul, say unto you." This nigga said the same thing. He did the same thing. "Behold, I, Josiah Ford, say unto you." This nigga is a self-proclaimed rabbi. But why are you going to follow the European? That's their tradition. That's their tradition. You trying to copycat them. He was never recognized as such by the wider Jewish community. Looking at you like you're crazy. He is so the same way they looked at Paul, the Israelite community back then, the real Jews looked at Paul as a traitor, is the same way that the Jewish community looked at Josiah Ford as a traitor. Like, nigga, you a self-proclaimed rabbi. You didn't even go through the tenets. Several Black religious leaders were experimenting with Judaism in various degrees. See that? They piggybacking off the European. Look, altercations over theology and finance issues. Finally, he established Beth Benah Abraham in Harlem in 1924. These niggas had altercations over theological issues because they're fighting over false doctrine. Look, altercations over theology. Altercations, that's fighting. Them niggas going to blows. Yeah, these niggas off, man. These niggas piggybacking off of the European Jews. Now look at the Hebrew up here. See that Hebrew writing? That's Babylonian. That's the Babylonian square script. When we come back up here, let's go back to the Babylonian square script. Huh? There it is. Yeah, the Babylonian square script. Make sure. Yeah, because that's after. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they brought the square script into play, where the script looked like blocks. See, that's Ge'ez. That's closer to the Paleo Hebrew, right? And then that shit went from that to them blocks that you see today. The block script. The Samaritan script kind of kept the, you know what I mean, close to the Paleo, right here. But the Babylonian script, they switched it up. So that's how the Samaritan script looked. That's your Hebrew right there, right? Then you got your Ashar Assyrian script. This is where that block script come into play. You see, look what that say, Ashar Assyrian script. And then when you come back to the picture of the black Hebrew Israelites, that's where they got the Assyrian script in front of the building. See that? The Assyrian script. What these niggas dealing with? We Assyrians now? This is the Assyrian script. Look. Ketev Ashar. Assyrian writing is the traditional Hebrew language name of the Hebrew alphabet used to write both Hebrew and Jewish Babylonian Aramaic. It is often referred to as the square script. Oh, you thought I was just making that up? The name Ashar or Assyrian or square script are used to distinguish it from the Paleo Hebrew script. So they let you know this is a different script from the Paleo Hebrew. So why are they not dealing with the Paleo script, which is more closer to the original Hebrew, than dealing with the more modern Assyrian script, the script of your enslaver that we see here? So it's many, niggas want to go there. We're talking about which book is better and all that, man. We could do that. We could show how this book is not beneficial. The culture is not beneficial. All of it came out of Masonic order, Masonic ties. A comparison between both versions shows as preference in the Sumerian version of the Hebrew preposition at al, or the Masoretic text has l. There's no e in Hebrew. It's a. So now, coming back to this guy, that just shows you that these Black Hebrew Israelite organization institution was inspired and influenced by Masonic order, got Masonic ties. Niggas don't got no pedigree, no real lineage of going into upholding Torah. For example, like when we come down and look at all these Europeans that got something to do with Torah. Look at this. How did Christianity enter Ethiopia? Through Anastasia, through Frumentius. Where the black man at? Where the Black Hebrew Israelite who brought Christianity into Ethiopia? Frumentius brought Christianity into Ethiopia. He gave you that. That white man right there. He established that. He gave you that. He gave Ethiopia this construction. Coming out of Rome. That's Roman influence right there. So we talk about the Ethiopian Bible and all this right here. This is Roman influence in Ethiopia. You got the Masoretic text. The Leonard Codex. This is as far back your Bible goes. All of it is coming in the Common Era for the most part. The Elpo Codex. You ain't got nothing to do with this. The Karate Jews, they the one who upheld this. This right here, the Elpo Codex. What? The Karate Jewish community of Jerusalem purchased the Codex. Huh? Look at that. That's them today. That's them today. That ain't you, Israel. Moses Maimonides, that ain't you. He authorizing Tanakh. That ain't you. All these figurines. that ain't you. That ain't you. Shlomo. Rabbeinu Shlomo. That ain't you. The author of comparative commentaries on Talmud and Hebrew Bible. Ain't no niggas doing that. Look at that. All these European faces that got to deal with these books. They even got a statue of him. That ain't no Negro. Who first publicized the Zohar. Look at him. That ain't you. Influential medieval rabbinical authority. Show me the niggas. Isaac ben Judah. Look at him. Commentator. Where the nigga commentator? Joseph ben Ephraim. The author of the last great codification of Jewish law. Him. This is 1875 to 1488 to 1575. They made a painting of him. There he is. Moses. Moshe. Israelis. 1530. They made a depiction of him. Expert in Jewish law. Shmuel. 1555. Ain't that the year of the good ship Jesus? The good ship Jesus that took a flight in 1555, what was he doing? He's a renowned rabbi. When you was on a good ship Jesus coming across the Atlantic, he is being titled as a renowned rabbi. And Talmud is famous for his commentary on the Talmud. Also known as Maharsha. Hold up. Maharsha? Look at that. Maharsha, a Hebrew acronym for our teacher in the Rabbi Shmuel. Look, they go to real Maharakah right there. Maharsha. 1555. What were you doing in 1555? 1563, Jesus of Lubbock was chartered to a great merchant by Queen Elizabeth I, the first, becoming involved in the Atlantic slave trade and smuggling under John Hawkins, who organized 4 slave voyages to West Africa and the West Indies between 1562 and 1568. This is what was going on with you in Africa. So you never upheld no traditional lineage and pedigree of Torah and Tanakh because you can't show it in Africa. The Europeans took it and upheld it from the time of the fall of Jerusalem up until now. And you got it from them. Manasseh ben Israel, 1604 to 1657. Founder of the first Hebrew printing press. See that? Y'all want to talk about the Israelite, the doctrine, the Hebrew culture? You don't have no culture. How can the Bible be beneficial for our people when you cannot identify Black culture in the histories from the fall of Jerusalem? All we see is Europeans. Ishaq, Isaac, 1605, 1693. religious writer, was a rabbi, scholar, Kabbalist. Rabbi Aaron, 1670 to 1756. First chief rabbi of Great Britain. You can't show me nothing about a black man dealing with no Hebrew Israelite doctrine from these time periods. You don't got nothing. Shmuel. All right. You got Shmuel. You got this cat. So I'm showing you a lineage, a pedigree of these Europeans who's upholding what these niggas is claim to be theirs. Elijah ben Shlomo, Solomon. Jewish Talmudists, Halak, Kabbalists, the foremost leader of Nagonic, how do you pronounce that? Non-Hasidic Jew. Jewry of the past few centuries, he is commonly referred to in the Hebrew as the Hagi Mahavlin, the genius from Vilnius. They got all this history about this Hebrew culture among these people, but you can't find it among your people nowhere until you get to Cherry and Crowdy, and they had a vision. Look at him. Snor Zalman. He wrote many works and is best known for the Surah Torah, or compiling according to the Nusach Ara, however you pronounce that. But yeah, look at that. These niggas is writing Torahs. Where the black man writing the Torah in the 17th century, 18th century? Where he at? See all these Europeans. Look, he got the hat on too. You see that hat? See that hat he got on? He got the same hat that you see when I showed earlier with Jehu and Rabbi Ashar and the Yemenite Jew. He got the same hat on. He is known as Righteous Sprout. Come on, son. The white man is winning, son. The white man winning right now with the doctrine of you claiming to be a black Hebrew Israelite. Where? Where in history until we get to Cherry and Crowdy, we see black Hebrew Israelites? Where? You're reading from a book, but can you validate it in history? These niggas is upholding the Tanakh. He was an Orthodox German rabbi who expressed views from religious perspectives in favor of the Jewish resettlement of the land of Israel, which predates Theodore and the Zionist movement. This nigga was the first nigga to talk about going back to Jerusalem. He gave you that prior to Theodore. He gave you the blueprint. Any Israelite talking about running back to Israel to live, he started that inspiration. Before Theodore. See that? He been did that. There was some in the history explaining it. I ran through this already, but I'm just showing here that ain't no nigga got nothing to do with no goddamn Hebrew Israelite anything. So how can it be better for our people if these niggas is running around masquerading, claiming a culture that they can identify in history? What you have today is not what you had back then. You don't really have nothing, to be honest. Look at this guy. Shlomo Rabbeinu was an Orthodox rabbi, Posek, best known as the author of the work of Halak, Jewish law. Look at him. He's best known for Jewish law. Look at all these European faces. We just coming down a lot of history. No nigga yet. Samson. Raphael. He looks stern and serious. He ain't playing no games. He got that Cosmo and Cal face right there. That's that Cosmo and Cal face. When Cosmo be serious, Cosmo be looking just like that. That's that Cosmo and Cal face right there. When you see Cosmo scream when he about a debate, that's that face he put on right there. And what he known for? Intellectual founder of the Torah in Derek School of Contemporary Orthodox Judaism. Niggas founding their own schools. That's why he's serious. He ain't playing. He ain't playing no games. There go Yahweh right there. There go Dreadful Cosmon. There he is. There go Dreadful Cosmon. There go nigga Thustra right there. Yahudi. Berlin. Look at that. 1816 to 1893. Author of several works of rabbinical literature in Latinium. How do you pronounce that? But look, nonetheless, all these Europeans got their hand on what you claim to be yours, but you can't show when you had it. You can't show me your face of the person and their pedigree. You remember your boy Judah Nash tried to run to, what's that dude in the first century he tried to run to? That was a pitiful attempt. Abraham Moshe. Huh? Look at that. That ain't no Bantu. Chief rabbi in Baghdad. Niggas in Baghdad. Niggas in Germany. Niggas all over. Azrael, pioneer of modernism of Orthodox Judaism in Germany and a founder of more modern Orthodox Judaism. That's what's going on with him. So again, as we show you a lineage of Europeans, James Strong, who gave you the definition of the Strong's Concordance right there. So every time you hit that Strong's right there, when you hit that Strong's Concordance, y'all niggas think y'all getting deep in the words, he gave you that. James Strong. So don't talk to us about the white man. How can the Bible be beneficial for our people and better for blackity black folks when everything about it is based off Europeans that you try to accuse the Oahspe of? You can't talk about Elohim El Elyon without going to the Strong's Concordance. He gave you that, Greek and Latin. When we go to Revelations, right? Let me show you something. When we go to Revelations, and we go to chapter 22, verse 15, and we hit the Strong's Concordance. See that Strong's? Right there. I hit Strong's. That's him. That's Strong's. So when I hit Strong's, and I go down to verse 15, and I click on the word whoremonger, which is the Greek word for pornos, and this states that a whoremonger is a male prostitute, he gave you that. James Strong's gave you that definition that a whoremonger is a male prostitute. So you niggas got to contend with the fact that you got male prostitutes outside the New Jerusalem that John saw coming down out of heaven, and he gave you that. You don't want to get tangled wee with us when it comes to this, bro. How can that be beneficial for black folks when you got a white man telling you got male prostitutes outside the New Jerusalem that is strictly for Israel? How can that be better? When John Blanubo is coming with the word of the Creator, distinguishing true God from false gods, showing you where you headed after death through the etheric worlds, but you niggas are going to be stuck on earth surrounded by prostitutes, male prostitutes at that. Y'all don't want to have that talk. That's in the Bible. Male prostitute is a Greek word, whoremonger. That's in your Bible. You're going to have whoremongers, and it says, look, for without our dogs. So now, in verse 14, it says, blessed are they, right here, and they may enter through the gates. So right here in verse 14, it's talking about those who keep the commandments that may enter through the gates. So we come in the next verse and it says, for without. The word for without is meaning with outside of the building, outside of the gate. So when we hit the word without, what does the word without mean? When we hit the word without exo, and what does it mean? Without, out of doors. So we're specifically being specific objectively here when it says without. It's talking about without the doors of what? The kingdom. So you're going to be without the kingdom. So for without are dogs, sorcerers, and whoremongers. Right there. Whoremongers. This is after the New Jerusalem has established on earth. This is the new kingdom, the new heaven. The old heaven and the old earth has passed away. And we still find whoremongers outside the kingdom. And these whoremongers are male prostitutes, yo. A harlot is a female prostitute. They don't even have harlots. They got whoremongers. And whoremongers, as we show, is a what? Let's go to another definition of it. Right here. A man who prostitutes his body to another for lust for hire. That's outside the kingdom. And he gave you that understanding. And you got to accept that. You got to eat that, because there's no other definition you're going to find outside of Strong's that you can reference. Even if you go outside of Strong's definition, it's going to be the same definitions. Elohim's still going to be a deity, power, body, and all those, because you have different wordings and different meanings for the same word. So you got James Strong's gave you that. You know what I mean? So more Europeans who got authorship over the Tanakh, authority of in Jewish law, him, Levi. See that? Him, Yusuf. Look at that. Authority of Halak, Jewish law, author of the work on Halak, or the Son of Man, who lives. These niggas doing their own thing with your book. All these faces. Look at all these faces. All these European faces. All these. There go Theodore, the one who did the whole Israel, bringing the fake Jews back to Israel or whatever. He did that. Look at all these European. Eliezer ben Yehuda, renowned for what? Reviving the Hebrew language. First Hebrew dictionary. Standard Arabic. That's how we learned that shit, Standard Arabic, yo. He uses Standard Arabic to revise the Hebrew language. I niggas didn't even know that. And not only that, he says here, in order to supplement the deficiencies of the Hebrew language, the committee coins words according to the rules of grammar and linguistics, analogs from Semitic roots, Aramaic, Canaanite, Egyptian, ones, and especially from Arabic root. Look at that. They're using all that to formulate the Hebrew, to revise the Hebrew language. Egyptian and Canaanite. I thought y'all ain't mess with them. And now you get to these cats. But I skipped over Cherry number. Now you get to them cats. Now you start coming to Cherry and all these blackity blacks. You start coming to them. Now you get to him. Now he's talking about we Israelites, and he had a vision. I just showed you all them Europeans who uphold the tradition. Now here comes a nigga with the vision. Huh? Here comes the charlatan. Hey, I had a vision, brother. Just like Paul had a vision. Paul seen the vision. He seen the Christ. And then he started doing his own thing. Same thing with these brothers. He had a vision. That's cold right there, yo. That's cold-blooded, yo. He had a vision. 5-9 over here. Shema. Relax. Let me see something. If I can have that beat rocking while I'm. Okay. Yeah, we got that beat rocking. There we go. That's some music in the background. We are rock out, yeah? Now, talk about creative. Let's talk a little bit how Oahspe is beneficial to the people better than the Bible is. Subjective. Start off dealing with creation. Ended off with creation. Creator. What is cosmogony? Definition: the branch of science that deals with the origin of the universe, especially the solar system. What is a universe? Definition: the universe is all of space and place, and their component and their contents. The Latin word universe meaning combined into one. What does una mean? Definition: una is a prefix that means one or single. It comes from the Latin word unus, which also means one. So una means one. Universe. Who is Jehovah? Oahspe Bilble. Book of the Ark of Bond, chapter 9, verse 12. Who is Jehovah? Verse 13. The ever-present. He fills all place and all space. Now look at the definition of what the universe states at the top right here. It says the universe is all of space and time. What is Jehovah? He fills all space, all place and space. The ever-present. So universe is synonymous with the creator. What is the meaning of ever-present? Something that is always there. What is something that is always there? An example. Let's ride, family. Let's hit that cosmos. Something that is always there. This is creator. This understanding is way more beneficial for our people because we're not confined to a deity sitting on a throne. We're confined to a vault of endless realm of possibility and creation. That is way more beneficial for the children's mind to think of infinite possibilities in comparison to being restrained and confined to one ideology and one possibility. The false gods is bound to one of them stars stuck. Got you stuck there while we traveling, we moving forward. The ingredients of the universe. What is the universe made up of? According to most scientific sources, here's a source. According to most scientific sources, the 10 most abundant elements in the universe are hydrogen, helium, oxygen, carbon, neon, nitrogen, magnesium, silicon, iron, sulfur. That's actual facts. The building blocks of creation, the periodic table of elements, that's what they're talking about. The gaseous state of creation. All elements are in a gas form prior to being liquids and solids. Gas is the first state of creation. Illustration of an atom cell. Here's hydrogen, here's oxygen, here's carbon. Before you can create anything, you must have the ingredients to create. The ingredients of creation. Book of Jehovah 6:5. Observe, O man, as a farmer sows corn in one place, wheat in another, and flax in yet another, everything in its place. Here's an example of that. Everything separate. Even so does Jehovah store the ingredients of which worlds are made. Everything in its place. So again, you got the substance of iron in one place, the substance of stone in another place, the substance of vegetables kingdom in another place, and likewise for the substance of the animal kingdom and the oils and sand, for its place in the firmament of heaven for all of them. That's beneficial to go right there. Huh? We're not just talking about heaven, we're talking about the minerals that make up heaven. Hydrogen, oxygen, helium. There go the evidence. That's the ingredients to creation. When we want to form creation, all was. Book of Jehovah chapter 1 verse 1. The force and power of the universe. How does creation start? This is the origin of all creation. All was, is, and ever shall be. The all spoke, and motion was, is, and ever shall be. And being positive was called he and him. The all motion was his speech. Definition of universe is all of space and time. The creator is the universe. The origin of creation within the universe, within creator. Because everything is within creator. Look at Jehovah. So we know that motion is the force and power. Now here is the flow of motion. For each and every corporeal world, I created a vortex first. What is a vortex? In fluid dynamics, a vortex is a regional fluid in which the flow revolves around an axis line, which may be straight or curved. Fluid dynamics. In physics, physical chemistry, and engineering, fluid dynamics is a subdiscipline of fluid mechanics that describes the flow of fluids, liquids, and gases. One universal order. And here's the example of that one universal order. You got the vortex right here as an example. You got hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. CHO chain of life that Dr. Sebi speaks of. And then you have an example of the solar system. Right here. All following the same principle. Everything is orbiting. Everything is in motion. See that? Everything is in motion. One universal order. And then when we take and see that, one universal order. They go to hurricane. The hurricane looks exactly like a galaxy in the cosmos. That's that vortex, one universal order. So when the creator creates, this is the force and power of the creator, the vortex. So now we come back up. When we come back up here, what do we see? We see vortices in the endless vault of creation. That's the essence of creator and his creation. Creator don't rest. Where you see resting going on at? Where you see eyes are tired, boss? Where you see that going on at? Eyes are tired. I had to rest on the 7th day. Where you see that going on at? This is endless creation and dissipation. Things coming into existence, things going out into existence. Continuously. with no beginning and no end. You can't put a beginning and an end to this. This is too big for the Big Bang Theory. This is too big for the six-day creation. The Oahspe is giving you the essence of the Creator and how worlds and things are created within the vault called the universe, or within the vault called Creator, within the Creator. All this is within the Creator. You can't go outside of this. Where? Where is outside of this? Yeah, fam. Book of Jehovah, chapter 3, verse 4. By the power of rotation, swift driving at the peripheral, I condense the atmospheric worlds that float in the firmament, and these become my corporeal worlds. In the midst of the vortices, I made them, and by the power of the vortices, I turned them on their axis. Here, for example, you got the ingredients, you start sweat. You start mixing them, start spiraling them in a circle, that vortex. You create a vortex with all the ingredients. Create it. Mixing the ingredients, mixing all the gases, the different minerals, condensing them, producing light, producing a globe of fire in the center. That's your sun. And within those strands of the vortex will planets be produced, all of vortices. That's how life is impregnated. By the power of rotation, our galaxies and the solar system created within the universe. Book of Jehovah, chapter 2, verse 3. The whirlwind I made as a sign to man of the way of my created world. So now we have something external to look at. All this is objective. This is beneficial because, hey, we're showing you science. You can't, I couldn't have showed you this with the 7-day creation story. They're not talking about vortexes creating worlds. They're giving you a false account of creation. They go to world with a sign. What did the verse say? Come down, let me jump down to it. Right here. Right. Look at Jehovah 3:3. The whirlwind I made as a sign to man of the way of my created worlds. This is a sign for us. Regardless of what your nationality is, this is Creator demonstrating his force and power. That's a view of a tornado from the side, and that's how we'll look from the top, just like a hurricane. Same for a hurricane and a tornado is the same thing, just labeled two different names. Same thing with a cyclone. Same force and power, different names. As you seek the power of the whirlwind gathering up dust of the earth and driving it together, the states. Know that likewise I bring together the Jaya, Aja, and Nebula in the firmament of heaven. By the power of the whirlwind, I create the corporeal sun, moon, and stars. There's an example. So here you have the nebula, the gases, prior to the rotation, prior to the vortex. You have the gases suspended, right? And then when the Creator gives the vortex, it takes these gases and draws them to the center, creating a globe of fire. Then let there be light. The light is created by the vortex. The vortex creates the light. Here's a picture of Andromeda. They go a picture of a galaxy. A lot of people know that's CGI, but now we have a picture of Andromeda in 1888 before CGI. CGI was created in 1958. So here's a picture of the same thing. A central sun with a vortex around it. So we're not making this up. This is beneficial. A kid could understand this. This is beneficial for a kid to understand. We could bring this in the school system. We could bring this in the school system. You can't bring the 7-day creation story in the school system. It's not backed with science. This is backed with science and logic. Creation of the sun. What is cosmogony? the branch of science that deals with the origin of the universe, especially the solar system. Now here's the source, right? That's the source. So here it states that many scientists think the sun and the rest of the solar system formed from a what? Giant rotating cloud of gas and dust known as the solar nebula. So right here, even the scientists today agree with the fact that the creation of the sun is due to rotating clouds of gases and dust. And then it states known as the solar nebula. Now, what is the solar nebula? Right here, look. Solar nebula, gaseous clouds. Huh? Didn't I show you gaseous clouds right here? They go to gaseous clouds right here. Prior to the vortex, they go to gaseous clouds. Prior to the rotation, they go to the gaseous clouds. The ingredients prior to mixing. Solar nebula, gaseous clouds, from which, in the so-called nebula hypothesis of the origin of the solar system, the sun and planets formed by condensation. This is scientific reviews today, coinciding with what exactly Oahspe say. Look what it states. Book of Jehovah, chapter 4, verse 15. First as vapor, the vortex carried it forth. And as it what? Condensed. Its friction engenders heat, and it is molten, becoming as a what? Globe of fire in heaven. They go to globe of fire in heaven. So in the center of the vortex, you have a globe of fire. That's your sun. Every vortex in the center is a sun. That's why all the galaxies, you see a sun in the center. And orbiting around the sun will be the planets. So again, first as vapor, here's a sign of the vapor right here. This is the vapor right here. They go to vapor. No motion. Before motion, before it was given a rotary. No motion, motion. Understand the difference. This is your creator showing you how the creator creates objectively for you to understand. No motion, these are the nebula, these are the gases, these are the minerals, your carbon, your iron, your nitrogen, your hydrogen. That's all this in a gaseous state. And then this gaseous given motion, and this motion is a vortex. All creation goes in this motionless vortex. So when we come back down, we already see that the sun rotating cloud of gas and dust. That's space.com. That's space.com. So the source, the reference. Solar nebula, gaseous cloud. We showed that. And then it says forms by condensing. That's Britannica.com, science of solar nebula. And then when we come to the Oahspe Book of Jehovah, chapter 4, verse 15, it states, first as vapor, the vortex carried forth, and it condenses right there. It condenses, just like it said up there. Bring that up. Look at that right there. Formed by condensation, and then in the Oahspe, it tells you condenses. Right there. And keep in mind, these references of Britannica science, this is new. Oahspe's telling you this in the 1800s. That the sun and the solar system are formed by rotating clouds of dust, of gas. And it's proven. So how can this not be beneficial to our understanding? Nigga, we could put this in the schools. This could be a curriculum in the school. The origin of the universe. Book of Jehovah, chapter 3, verse 7. To make the sun, I created a great vortex first. So here's the sun, the globe of fire in the center, but the vortex had to be created first for the sun to exist. So here you see the great vortex, and then in the center, you see the ball of light. This is way more beneficial to understand and know than the Bible's creation myth, which is rooted in Babylonian mysticism. The Oahspe creation narrative is rooted in objective science. And within this vortex and subject to it, I made the vortices of many of the corporeal worlds. The sun vortex I caused to rotate, and I gave it power to carry other vortices within it according to their density and position. They are thus carried forth and around the sun. There you have it right there. So when you zoom in on the galaxy, this is what it's going to look like when you zoom in on the galaxy. The solar system, you're going to see the ball of fire, and you're going to see smaller vortices which produce planets within those vortices. And the same viewing is the same thing you see up here, and it's the same thing you see right here. So we're not making this up. Boom. There go real evidence, primary evidence. That's the constellation Andromeda, and you see the central sun, the spiraling vortex around it. The Earth's vortex is a sub-vortex existing within the sun's vortex. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and so on are corporeal worlds, and each and all of them are within vortices, being sub-vortices also. So here you have an example of the solar system orbiting with the planets, and here you have an example of an oxygen cell with the neutrons and the protons and the electrons orbiting, showing you the same universal system. One universal order. Everything is in motion. See that? Look at that. All of those got central suns. The sun is in the center of all of these vortices. And subjected to the vortex could be smaller planetary worlds like our Earth that is subjected to the sun in its vortex. With the cosmogony and Book of Prophecy, say chapter 1, verse 1, the same principles apply to all the stars, suns, planets, and moons. Just one universal order, family. That's it. Book is 1 Safar. Jehovah said, the sun I made as the head of a serpent, and his feelings I made as the body of a serpent, thus I made the great corporeal serpent. So the idea of this serpent for us is not a snake in the garden. It's the motion of the solar system using the serpent symbolically to describe it. Why does Oahspe reference the solar system? The great serpent is because of its motion moving like a wave, which is the flow of the vortexian current. 12 stunning pictures of the sun clicked over 12 months at the same place go viral. And look at that. Now we got two charts. Now on the left, you have south, north, and then back south. This is the flow of the sun throughout the year. It doesn't flow in a straight line, it flows in an arc. On the right side, I put the 12 months with the seasons to go along with it. It's 3 seasons for each month. It's 3 seasons for spring, 3 months for spring, 3 months for summer, 3 months for fall, 3 months for winter. But if you notice, look at, if you want to get savvy with it and start learning how to read the sun, you know what I mean? You just look at the position of the sun in the sky throughout the year. So you know when summer come, you know what I mean? So we go to the 6th month, which is half of 12, 6. That's when the sun is furthest in the sky north. And then from summer going to winter, the sun falls. It descends down. That's the arc. So you see the rise and you see the fall. Just like the Oahspe say, the rise and fall of nations. You have the rise when man reaches peace, pinnacle, tranquility, at a pinnacle at the 6th, and then it starts to descend. They descend into warfare and destruction, and 1,000 years of darkness, and the Ethereum got to come, and then the rise of light starts again. This is the rise and fall of an arc cycle. A solstice is the time when the sun reaches its most northerly or southerly excursion. It's an example of the solstice. The sun path, sometimes also called day arc, refers to the daily and seasonal arc-like path that the sun appears to follow across the sky as the earth rotates and orbits the sun. See that? Oahspe Bilble, Book of Synopsis, the 16th cycle, chapter 2, verse 2. Second, the sun with his family, which is the solar system, plies in a large circuit, which is the Milky Way galaxy, which is divided into 1,500 arcs. The distance for each arc is about 3,000 years, or one arc second. Yeah. So in Wikipedia, you got seasonal arcs. My mouth said. You got seasonal arcs. You got day arcs. And then the Oahspe tells you got 3,000-year arc periods. This is beneficial to the people because it's practical. And then you could identify and match with science. You can't match a 7-day creation with science. It don't make no sense. There's 2 years, 24 months of the sun's course. And look at that. That's 2 years. Look at the arcs. See that? That's 2 arcs right there. That's 2 measured arcs right there. Boom. That's how the sun moves in the sky. That's why they call it the great serpent. It moves like a serpent, winding back and forth. We're not talking about a serpent in the garden. We're talking about the solar system, the sun. But the sun is the head, and the planets is like the body. So the head is moving, and the planets is moving along. So the same way you see the sun moving like that, likewise is the planets moving like that, tailing along like a serpent. And here's the proof. Look at that. Now here's an example of the serpent. Here's an example of mechanical waves. Here's an example of light waves. And everything is moving from right to left. And even in this example of the solar system in the Oahspe, you see the sun right here. You see the planets travel along like a serpent. There it is right there. We're not only showing you how the serpent is referenced, but we're explaining to you that this has to do with the sun's motion in the sky. And the very motion that it's moving in is the very same motion that mechanical waves move in, light waves move in. You ain't gonna get this from Bible. This is way more beneficial for our people than the Bible. And then even when we come down to the electromagnetic spectrum, visible light, you still see the wave. The wave frequency. It's way more beneficial. See that? Again, Book of Cosmogony, chapter 1, verse 1. The same principles apply to all sun, moon, and stars and planets, but differing in manifestation of account on size, motion, density, and relative position, place. So there you have it, one universal order. From the solar system to a galaxy, to a cell, oxygen cell, to a hydrogen cell, to an example of a vortex. It's all one same system. A central sun and orbiting planets. You got protons and neutrons and orbiting electrons. The electrons will play as planets. Universal order. But now notice when we went through what we just went through, we didn't show you none of this. We didn't show you an L or a God. I did not provide no deity in my explanation, right? But this is what you submit to Israel. This is the God that told you he created the heavens and the earth in 7 days. Hell. Nigga lied to you, son. Nigga lied to you, son. Now, how does that match up what we just read with that 7-day creation story? Don't even match up, yo. That shit don't even match up, son. That joint don't even match up, King. So I'm about to ride up out of here, family. Your boy Still Shalom is about to get up out of here, make some plays, and to come on and give y'all like early morning sermon. We gonna fuck up out of here though. Critter gang, blue. We out of here. Let's vibe out to some music. You know how we do.